Can you hear me? Oh, can't hear each other.
No.
I can't hear anything. I'm getting some feedback, but nothing else.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear each other. I love Spencer's shouting at this. Adam energy. Pardon? Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know, we're not supposed to hear you or not? Oh no, then we're fine, yeah, we're good to go. I was just telling us when we're live. Shall I do the scores?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very cold, very blustery field of dreams. Here, the NTU Renegades are taking on the Nottingham Outlaws, the first match-up this season between the two big powerhouses of the East Midlands Conference. I'm James Baseline Goodsall, and standing along beside me is Callum Chalmers.
Hello everybody. We'd like to welcome you to our sixth. It's being dubbed the Robin Hood Bowl. Sixth one as it stands, 5-0 the series. A record NTU are very proud of and hoping to extend today. You can see the boys all lining up right now, getting a little bit pumped up before the game. Spencer there calling out the players as they run through, and here have Chris Stone running through.
It's a very important game for both teams this year because, as I say, with the split divisions now and the Premiership, these two have been left in the Midlands Conference now. They are easily the two best teams up here. This really is not only bragging rights within Nottingham itself, but it's also probably who's going to be going top into the playoffs and with that home field advantage for the first game.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands, the league table, NTU and UoN are top. I believe NTU have a game in hand. But yeah, this is more or less deciding the contender in the playoffs from this division. Both teams so far have blown away most of their opposition. Although UoN did, they lost to Warwick, who NTU had performed very well against. So that could set the tone for the match. As NTU are coming in this undefeated.
Yeah, so let's sorry, we are experiencing a little bit of a technical difficulty here at the moment, which is unfortunate because we were caught on the hop slightly as when we went live. Now, myself, anyone that was watching the first game of the season against the Coventry Jets will know that I commentated it with Bradley Peck. Both of us are alumni students. Callum, though, is actually a current player, unfortunately on the injured reserve list. So, Callum, tell me, what's it like at the moment inside the Renegades camp? 4-0. It's coming into the second half of the season. How are the boys feeling at the moment?
The atmosphere in the team right now is absolutely brilliant. The boys are confident. They're playing some of the best football we've seen in the year. Training's been intense. The players who've been attending have been fighting hard for positions. Competition's as good as ever, as it always is in the NTU. It's always been a bigger atmosphere of next man up, fighting for positions, best man gets the position rather than reputation leading the way. So that's actually led to a lot of rookies surfacing, as we always get with the Renegades. So the boys are excited. They've been building up to this game. We've come off the Christmas break for this match, so it's been 2 months in the waiting. So this has been the one the boys have been building up for, and they've built it in their heads as the game for promotion. So it's an exciting time. The issue at the beginning of the season, the thing that most people were worried about with NTU was the loss of the previously star quarterback, Danny Miller,
absolutely,
and the star running back, Adam Hope. They thought that the NTU offence was going to stall due to that loss, whereas in fact it's actually done incredibly well. They're the number one.
I was going to bring that up because there was a certain stigma around the NTU Renegades, has been dubbed now the post-Danny Miller Renegades. And to be honest, that first game of the season, there was a lot of pressure on young Harrison's shoulders, and I think he performed exceptionally well. He perhaps forced a few too many passes. He did get picked off once or twice, and he did seem to look deep quite a lot, as opposed to taking those short underneath routes, getting some confidence and building those plays. However, the last 4 games I've watched him come along, he's made leaps and bounds, and I don't really think anyone now can say, oh, it's the post-Danny Miller stage. Danny Miller, obviously a fantastic player, but I think he's had his time now, and the baton and the light have definitely been handed over now to Harrison. He's leading this team brilliantly, and with Chris Stone and Marcus Patches-Boswell around him as well, this team, I would say, is probably stronger than last year's team.
I think as a unit, yes, there's a strength to the NTU Renegades this year, and it's clear. And for instance, the Renegades are the number 1 scoring offense across the entire division.
Yeah.
Not just our section of the division, but the whole way around. They're the number 1 scoring offense, and the defense is one of the highest scoring defense in the league, as well as one of the best least conceding teams.
Yeah, the defence have always been phenomenal, NTU Renegades. This year, of course, Jamie Johansson, 0-2. The Viking has come back. Matt Priest is able to attend more training sessions and get himself more game time, and has indeed become the captain. Liam Rocket Reynolds has come back from America. Chris Stone and Patches-Boswell. These are household names within Nottingham almost. You've got some players, the likes of Alex Curry as well, a phenomenal young quarterback that's got cornerback. Hopefully got a long and glorious playing career ahead of him. This defence is phenomenal. I've been speaking to Bernie Hackshaw as well just before the game, the D-line coach, and this was an area that perhaps was going to suffer a little more than other areas on the defensive side, as myself, James Ballou before left, 2 starters, 2 captains, left a big hole in that line, but it has been filled beautifully by some very talented and very aggressive rookies. Stuart Smith as well coming in, finally made his mark on the D-line, and it just seems to have got to the point now where the whole team is just starting to gel together. We're not riding our luck so much, and the points are coming because they're engineered. We're causing turnovers, and that ball is now rolling, and I think it's going to roll right into the middle of this Outlaws team and cause quite a few headaches for them. Now, obviously, being Renegades players, we don't want to be that biased. I'm sure the Outlaws are a very, very strong team. They're going to cause a lot of problems for the Renegades as well, but ultimately, I really can't see this going any other way than the Renegades' way, to be honest.
Well, before the game, I had a chat with some of the UoN coaches, and they think that this is their best chance they've ever had to take on the Renegades. They listed some of their star players. For instance, they have Alex Maxton. He's their captain on defence, a defensive end. I was told he leads the team in tackles and sacks. He's been having an outstanding season. They've got Matt Thorns at Rover, number 44. Ben Selbo, he's an American player, not a college level player, but an American player that's come over. He's playing at Sam linebacker. And Alex Boz was also highlighted to me. He was a linebacker last year. He's come up to safety, and he started as a day 1 starter. He's been absolutely outstanding, I've been told. And that's just their defense. Their offense, we're hearing about Sam Wright, their quarterback, their American scholarship player, Will Stanton, number 10. He's a wide receiver. Their running back, Paddy Hoban, was interestingly compared by their coach to Marshawn Lynch.
Wow.
So there's some excitement about him. I presume by that they mean some kind of power back, but we'll have to wait and see how accurate that comparison is. But we're about to kick off here. But according to both sets coaches, should be a close game, very competitive game, and like James highlighted at the beginning of this, possibly the deciding game in the division. So this is where things get exciting.
As always, we are running an interactive service today for you, and if you would like to have a shout out, any members of your family, any friends you've got playing today, any comments on the play, please feel free to tweet us. It's at NTU Renegades, and we'll read them out as long as they're clean and relevant. Luckily, Kyle Clark is actually here today, so he won't be clogging up our feed with useless comments like he was last time.
All we need is a at NTU Renegades. If you want to hashtag what, hashtag quest for 6. We'll try and get you read out as best we can.
But it's kicked off. Renegades to receive, playing from right to left in their trademark pink uniforms now.
Got Patches and Adam Adeniji at the back waiting to receive. Oh, ball's bounced through. Adam Adeniji with the ball. He's brought down
about the 10-yard line. Some good start by the Outlaws, an unlucky bounce. You should never let that ball bounce, and I think Patches was a little unlucky that it bounced away from him there. But I think they made the best out of a bad situation there.
So here comes the offense. As we spoke about earlier on, Harris Zen starting at quarterback once again. He's had an outstanding season. The pivotal thing we've noticed is his relationship with Marcus Patches Boswell on the deep ball. It's been a threat all year that teams have struggled to contain. He scored, I think, 4 touchdowns off of that relationship so far. It might even be more than that. It's been an outstanding combination for the Renegades and one they've relied on in tight situations. So I'd expect to see that a lot today. Our starting offense, I see we've got Harry Guest out there at wide receiver. We've got Patches Boswell in the running back position, it would seem. So let's see what that's about.
Plays short to Patches. Patches makes ground, misses one tackle, cuts back inside, hit from behind, but still gets the first down on a 12-yard reception from Harris Zen.
That's a great start. So you were talking about that relationship between Patches and Harris. I was talking about it being on the long ball, but there was an immediate contribution in the short game.
It seemed like Patches came in there in the running back position, took the fake handoff, and gave Harris that sort of fail-safe. If there was nothing open deep, they were just going to offload it onto him, and Patches there, using his pace, using his step, breaks a few tackles. A deceptively strong player for someone of his size.
Right, it's a ball handoff to Adam Adeniji. He's brought down after maybe a 4-yard gain. Yeah, Adam Adeniji's been having a good season all year long. Sorry, one moment. Yeah, sorry, as I was saying, Adam Adeniji's been having a great season. He's only had, I think, maybe 1, perhaps 2 touchdowns this year, but his running towards the end zone has been outstanding. It's been impossible to bring down long runs, and he's in the backfield right now with Harris Zen, and it's handed off again.
Adeniji turns upfield, and there was perhaps a call there for a... Well, you don't normally have a high tackle in football, do you? It was almost a face cage, but the play stands. Another great run from Adeniji, and that's something that I think the Renegades really need to take into this game. Like last season, we went into a lot of games with the attitude that we are going to win it, we can't lose it, we're invincible, and we didn't play the basics as well as we could have done. Now, the Renegades this year, evidently here, short passes, good running, setting up the game, taking their time, and they've got some great blocking down the field there. And it's just that whole team ethos. Everyone is playing well. Everyone is making their mark on this team. Everyone is doing their job. And the Renegades, they just seem a lot more relaxed this year, and they're just playing basic football, doing the basic things well, getting points on the board, and just that, which is essentially the aim of the game. And it's great to see from such a hard season last year that the Renegades have really turned it round and have gone back to playing football the way they know how to play football. Yeah.
So Adeniji in the backfield with Harris Zen once again. Harris Zen in shotgun. Ball is snapped. Harris Zen going for the run. He's been shut down quite quickly. Yeah, it's a loss of maybe 2 yards there.
Well, that brings up third down, about third and about 4 there.
I think Alex Maxton, who we highlighted earlier on, the defensive end captain, leading tackler and leading sack artist, for the Outlaws involved in that play. We're hearing a lot of good things about him. He should be one to watch out for. The NTU Renegades are probably going to have to highlight him as someone they need to contain if they want to get their running game working.
Well, this is going to put the Renegades in their first difficult situation of the game. It's more than likely going to be a pass. It's not. It is a handoff.
Adeniji gets the ball handed off to him. He's gone backwards though. That's a big... he's still on his feet. No, and there he is.
It takes a lot to bring Adam Adeniji down, and unfortunately, it's one of those plays that was going backwards as soon as it was handed off.
Yeah. So that looks like a loss of about 7 yards there. So here come the punt team for NTU, hoping to really pin back the Outlaws before they are allowed their first offensive drive of the day. Liam Rocket Reynolds, a long-time member of the NTU Renegades, is the punter. You were playing with Liam for years before I arrived. He's a big influence in the camp, isn't he?
He was one of those players that turned up, and as you mentioned before, he was a starting rookie. Played against Birmingham in his first ever game, and performed very, very well. And you can't ever say about Rocket, talk about his progression, because he's one of those players that is just so naturally gifted and was already such a good player. He started out at safety. Actually, he and I were competing for the safety position when we first started. He has since moved to outside linebacker, a position I think that perhaps suits his physique and his tackling ability a little bit more. But he's always been involved in the kicking game, and he's one of those players that he doesn't necessarily say a lot. He doesn't necessarily raise his voice that much. He never gets angry, but he is influential, and he's a steady head, and I think he sort of is the yin to say Patches or Danny's yang.
Yeah. He leads by actions, you'd say. All right, so number 5, quarterback, receives the shotgun, hands it off to Paddy Hoban, number 40.
And I think that might be either a run for a loss or very little gain. I think the defensive line were getting pushed around a little bit there, but were holding their ground and not giving the running back many options, giving him many holes to run up. Yeah,
the defensive line was something you mentioned earlier on as a position that took a big hit with the graduation of several senior players, yourself and James before leaving, Ballou being an outstanding member of the D-line, and yourself as starting DN for, was it 2 years?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half, so it's a big loss on the D-line, but they have filled in.
There seems to be a little bit of confusion on said D-line, and it has left a big hole, but unfortunately for the Nottingham Outlaws running back, he didn't exploit it and tried to go up around the outside, and I believe that was Jamie Johansson 02 in on the stop. Josh Elwar, number 74. He's one of the defensive ends from last year. He's still in the team. He did a good job on not letting his man cut back inside, and Jamie Johansson 02, the Viking, as we mentioned, was there to attack the gap. The defense for the NTU Renegades has changed around a lot from last year. You spoke about Liam Rocket Reynolds playing now as a outside linebacker. We actually see him feature quite prominently when he's on the pitch in the joker role, but that does tend to be a safety position now in the new Renegades offense. But Jamie seems to be there on the blitz. No, he steps back. Sam Wright looking for a pass, finds one. Number 10, that is Will Stanton, the American scholarship athlete that was highlighted to me. It's not very often, actually, you see Patches miss a tackle like that. It was I think he may have been in 2 minds whether to go for the pick or go for the hit. But there is a flag on the play, 2 flags. It looks around the passing area, so we will look here for perhaps holding against the offence, because I don't think the quarterback was hit. We'll let you know when the referee today is... I do apologise. He introduced myself.
That's 3 penalties on the fence in the back.
Okay, we apologise there for the technical difficulties with his microphone there, but it looked like there were 3 penalties, a full start and 2 holding penalties.
All of them seem to be called on the offence, were they not?
All of them were on the offence. The full start and the one holding were declined. The Renegades have accepted the 3rd holding penalty, so it'll be a penalty of 15 yards. Will it be for holding? 10 yards? Some yards.
Offensive holding I think is 10.
Yeah.
Excuse our lack of knowledge there. It's still we're still catching up with the day.
I haven't played Madden recently, so I don't know the rules as much as I used to. But no, it remains 3rd down and probably 13 yards now. So again, perhaps look for that deep pass to the American scholar. It'll be interesting to see actually, because we've got Daniel. We've got Lewis
Glaze.
So I've made that mistake many a time. Lewis Glaze and
number 26
Patches in the backfield. In the cornerback role, Alex Curry as well, and Chris Stone. So it'll be interesting to see who lines up against him. It looks like it is Lewis for the time being.
It's dumped off to Paddy Hoban, although it's a very high overthrown pass by Sam right there. That's an incomplete, and that's 4th down. So that's great work there by the NTU NTU defense, pushing UoN right back against their own end zone for the punt.
It seems like both teams at the moment are struggling as much as the commentary team to get the ball rolling and to start taking things in their flow. We
promise once everyone's all warmed up vocally, we'll be up there to our normal high broadcasting standards.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Phil Sims and Jim Nance got nothing on us, have they?
No. I mean, you might see us there tonight. It depends if we get flown out.
Yeah. And Jamie Johansson, 0-2, looking to charge down that kick.
All right, there's a big punt. Chris Stone with the return. Makes 3 or 4 yards from a very difficult position with the 4 UoN defenders closing in on him. So you've got to consider that a job well done.
Yeah, Patches coming in there with the block. People get hyped up for this game so much. I remember last year, Manny, one of our linebackers, made a big hit in the backfield and celebrated and then was flagged for it. Players do get worked up for this game. Patches there was very close to coming in from the side. For those who don't know, if you're going to make a block, you have to hit the player effectively on the numbers, and it seemed to be a bit of a shoulder pad collision there.
Yeah, emotions run high in a game like this, and that's to be expected. You want the players to leave everything out on the field, but we've got trips on the left-hand side here. Chris Stone, Kieran Gonzalez, and Luke Barber all lined up there. And Adam Adenergy in the backfield still with Harris Sen. We'll await the snap. Harris Sen in the shotgun. Receives the snap, looking for the pass. He's rolling out wide. No. Unfortunately incomplete. No one there to receive that pass. The UoN defense, you've got to say, are doing a very good job of shutting down the wide receivers.
They are. One thing, if you ever play the Outlaws on a continuous basis as we have every season, one thing you notice is that their defence, they do have weapons on their defence. They do have some very good players, and it's perhaps, I'm not saying that they're any less advanced than we are, but it's perhaps where the Renegades were a few years ago, where you struggle to have those players on offence. Because on offence you do need a certain set of skills, and skills that you can't necessarily teach, that you have to have. Sort of natural speed, good hand-eye coordination, good catching ability, that Patches is just showing off there. He showed off both those traits very well.
And that was, again, a dump-off pass there from Harris Sen to Patches Boswell. It seems that what the Renegades have tried to implement in this game is they'll have their deep threats. They'll have Kieran Gonzalez. They'll have their Luke Barber employing that role also. But they've given Harris Sen a safety blanket in the form of the exceptionally talented Patches Boswell for the short dump-off passes like that. And you can see just how good he is with an open field. He gained a good 20 yards there on that play. So great work there from the NTU offense.
As well as what we were saying earlier, we are very lucky to have had some of the players we have had come through the Renegades system, come through the Renegades team. The likes of Patches, Danny, Adam Adenergy, people that do have just that natural God-given talent and the ability to run well and run fast. Adenergy hit hard there.
Tries to hurdle his man, I believe, but looks as though he landed okay. Landed nicely on his back, but that was quite a hit.
That was an impressive hit.
So Harry Guest coming back on the field, Chris Stone coming out.
And as much as I want the Renegades to win, you can't help but love those sorts of hits, can you?
No, that's what we play American football for. Is for the big hits like that. They really highlight the intensity, and the competitiveness of the game.
And I can guarantee you, the next time Adenergy gets that ball, he's going to be looking for that player. I can guarantee you, he's going to want to get his own back.
Okay, so NTU offense comes to the line again. Starting centre for the Renegades today is Tom Crumpton, a GB trialist. Harrison steps back looking for the pass. Looks deep to Kieran Gonzalez, who gets it.
That is a touchdown. There is, however, a flag on the play, so we'll have to wait and see whether it comes back at all. But they are playing. They are celebrating as though that is going to stand. However, it is over on Kieran Gonzalez's side. Whether or not it was holding, or whether he's pushed off his cornerback, pass interference on either side, it could be. I just hope that at the technical difficulties now. No, there are still technical difficulties. It has been given as a holding call, has been declined. That TD will stand.
That is Kieran Gonzalez's, I believe, 3rd TD this year. And bearing in mind last year he only had the 1, he's had an exceptional season.
He has.
He's been employed more as a deep threat this year because of He's a very quick receiver. He's got great hands, very elusive. I'm actually been impressed with the cornerbacks for UoN so far for managing to keep a hand on him. But he's managed to find his way through and get the first TD of the game, giving UoN a 6-0 lead. And he's also the extra point kicker here with Harrison holding. The kick is wide, I believe. It's not been given. So that leaves the score at 6-0.
On an interesting note, actually, it's although, as you say, Kieran Gonzalez has come on a long way this season, and he has played very well and scored a very nice touchdown there. At the end of last season, couldn't help but rib him a little bit for it. In the extra game, caught a pass, clear down the field, and fumbled it untouched about 2 yards from the end zone, which was then recovered by an Exeter player. TD didn't stand, and we did go on to lose that game and did end our playoff run, unfortunately. But he's one of those players. That's all. If I think of Kieran, unfortunately, that's going to be my everlasting thought of him.
Well, the credit does have to be given, though. An incident like that in such a big game can knock someone's confidence. But Kieran came back this year, came into training camp, and really came into his own as a leader for the rookies at wide receiver. They often turn to him for help with their routes, for help with their learning. He's been an essential part of training camps at the beginning of the year and a pivotal starter since the season began. So he's had an exciting year so far, and capped right now by his first touchdown against University of Nottingham.
What a lot of people don't see about the Renegades is what we do off the field. Unfortunately, we obviously people see a lot of what we do on the field with these. We set up these live streams. We're always posting our results. And that return.
That's Alex Maxton, the D-end we were talking about on the return there. Great tackle from Kieran Gonzalez there. We were just talking about him. A tackle like that, that's outstanding work.
Not bad for a wide receiver, that's for sure.
No. I think he's being told to calm down a little bit there by Patches Boswell, because he was saying some words to Alex Maxton after the tackle, but he'll cool down now. He's on the sidelines.
But what we were saying, off the field, we are an exceptionally social team. We have these training camps. We had a pre-season scrimmage against Derby, who like to come up and spend a lot of time with us. A lot of people will also know the Renegades won a competition to go and train with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was an absolute treat for the players, something that not many people in a lifetime would ever be able to achieve. The Renegades off the field, we're a family. And I think that's why we are so emotional when we play, is because we are playing with our family. We love going out. We've got a fantastic party planned tonight for the Super Bowl. Everyone's looking forward to that. On the field, we're brothers. Off the field, we're family. It's one of those things that you come to university. I've left university. I miss it dreadfully. I'll always be a Renegade. And I think there are perhaps only 3 or 4 other teams around the country that can perhaps say that about their team as well.
Paddy Hoban brought down for a loss there. Great work by the NTU defensive front. Talking about NTU defensive front and players that may have graduated last year, we're actually joined here right now by, and we've mentioned him a couple of times already, James Baloo, as he's better known, one of the big losses of graduation on the defence. D-tackle last year. Your spot's been filled this year by, you got Lawrence Coulson and Stewie Smith, who've done an outstanding job, but they did have big shoes to fill. How are you missing NTU Renegade football?
I would say my spot will never be filled. There's only one Baloo for that place. Same with the baseline here. You're the cracking commentator.
Ball hand off to number 10. He's going for a throw. That isn't.
Oh, he's dropped it.
The throw wasn't outstanding there. That was number 10, Will Stanton, the American scholar, looking for his wide receiver. The ball bounced off the chest, unfortunately, not completed. But a good play there, designed by UoN, and it had the NTU Renegade defence guessing for a while. But unfortunately, wasn't able to complete the pass for a big gain.
Yep. So I just have to thank Baloo for his fabulous comments there, completely unbiased and.
No. Oh, okay. We apologise for that.
Baloo's had
as we said, the emotions run high. They run high for the retrograde. Oh, that will be a flag for offside on NTU, I believe. But we apologise for that. But yes, it was nice to have Baloo here. Carrying on from your point of talking about the Renegades as a family, to truly highlight that, you need to only look at the support that's arrived today.
Yep.
There are a lot of people watching on the hill.
Against the defence, 5 yards. Still third down.
It appears that the technical difficulties surrounding the referee's mic have been fixed. So that'll make it a lot easier for us as a commentary team to have to try and guess what's going on. As I said, I haven't played Madden in a very long time.
But yeah, sorry, we were saying the highlight of the Renegades family is the amount of retrogrades on the side. The retrogrades are the alumni of the NTU Renegades, and there's a good 25 of them here today.
You could put out a legal football team with them.
Yeah. They're a delight to have around, a good influence on the boys who've met them, and obviously it's nice to have them there for the support. So NTU on defence here, set up, third down, about 7 yards needed. Ball is snapped. QB looking for the pass, finds number 10. That's Will Stanton, the American scholar. Oh, helmet knocked off through the tackle.
If you can hear it coming from the far end of the bank that we're standing on now, it is the Renegades. They do employ the Seminoles chant every now and again when the things start going their way, and are the first to tease anyone, whether they're wearing white or pink, if they do cock up.
So, yeah, we apologise if you hear any biased chanting. We can't do much about that, but we promise to keep ourselves as on the fence as we possibly can for NTU Renegades.
Yeah, well, you can talk for yourself there, Callum. I know which side I'm falling on.
Okay, I will sit firmly on the fence. Okay, the QB in shotgun with Paddy Hoban in the backfield. First down for UoN here, 1st and 10. Ball is snapped. It's a pass play to number 80. Alex Curry misses the tackle. The tackle's eventually made by
Jamie Johansson Utu, I think.
Apologies, can't see the numbers. Jamie Johansson Utu, the Viking, as you say. A linebacker, so doing very well to get over there into that position to make the tackle.
He's deceptively quick for someone of his size. He really is.
He's a frightening weapon, the size of him.
There is a photo actually of the pre-season scrimmage against Derby where he's come on and hit the he's blitzed, hit the blocking running back, and it's only a still capture, but you can feel the pain.
That was a screenplay there by UoN. It doesn't look as though it's made the first down. They're going to measure it up now.
But that's something that is going to really, really grate with the defensive line coaches. You could see straight away that it was a screen pass. The whole D line rushing through there.
Legal procedure against the offence. 5 minutes.
I think that's something along the lines of either an illegal formation or an illegal procedure.
Yeah.
So it'll be it'll be third down, loss of 5 yards. But sorry, what I was saying about the D line. If your man does bump you and disappear, you don't just rush straight through. You have to stick on your man's hip, because where he goes, that's where the ball's going. That's the golden rule on D line. And I know that Coach Bernie and Coach Spencer, that's going to grate with them, and they certainly have something to say about that, because it's those sorts of plays that a screen pass, it's either money in the bank or you're going bust.
Yeah.
And as a defensive point of view, if it's a 50-50 play like that, you want to bust it. So, it's still second down.
Still second down, about 7 yards. QB steps back, looking for... intercepted by number 51.
Matt Priest with the interception. That will make him happy. That's going to put him firmly in the game. That's going to really boost his confidence. And you can probably just about hear the Seminoles chant coming from the Renegades. The likes of Brad Peck, Kyle Clark, Frodo, Mac Rice, Donny, all these players that we were playing with in the last couple of seasons all come back to support their boys and employ a chant from an American university. They don't even have the ability to think up one for themselves.
But yeah, so very good work there from Matt Priest on defence, giving NTU another opportunity to add to the score. As it stands, it's 6-0 to the Renegades. Harrison steps back, looks short again for Patches. They've used that play 3 or 4 times, and this time UoN have managed to stop it. Good work there from their defence. I believe that was Ben Selbo. He's a Sam linebacker, also over from America. That's one thing we're seeing in the UoN offence. There seems to be a lot of... they're taking a knee. Excuse me, is there an injury on the field?
That seems to be a trend with the Outlaws defence. They take a knee when they get their calls.
Okay. Apologies, I was worried there might have been an injury on the play. But yeah, sorry. So we're seeing a level-headedness from the UoN defence, which has been very impressive so far. Although
I think that's the end of the quarter. So
apologies for the confusion. Thank you for covering me there.
Okay. But no, okay. To summarise, an impressive first quarter from both teams. Both teams looking like they can make ground and stop the opposition making ground on them. It's going to be a back and forth kind of game. I'm going to put it out there to you right now, Callum. Final score. What do you reckon?
Well, the NTU defence has been stingy, to say the least. So I can't see them getting many points scored on them. I'm thinking perhaps a two-score game to the NTU Renegades. I can only really see UoN getting one touchdown, maybe a field goal. So I'm thinking perhaps 21-10.
21-10? You're going to go 21-10? That's a very similar score to the score last year. It was 26-13 last year. Last year, Outlaws did actually score first.
Yes,
They scored first. Unfortunately for them, the Renegades did then go on to dominate most of the game until the very last play. Long bomb down the field to score, make it two touchdowns to our 4. However, I understand completely with what you're saying about the Outlaws may struggle against this Renegades defence. However, I think that perhaps if the Outlaws are going to get points, it's going to come in the way of either a fumble recovery for their defence or a pick six, or maybe even on special teams. And that's something that the Renegades have struggled with in previous years, is their special teams. You saw on a kick-off that should have been routine for the Renegades, really. It was Kieran Gonzalez, the kicker, having to make that big hit down the sideline, and even then, after that hit, they still returned it for 20-25 yards. It's those sorts of plays that the Renegades always have struggled with. It's normally always on special teams. We have lost games in the past due to special teams. It is agonising when that sort of thing happens. But I think, to be honest, that's the only way the Outlaws are going to score. They get a chance like they had earlier, they're going to have to capitalise on it.
Ball handed off to Adeniji. Good blocking downfield from the wide receivers.
And it's a run to the outside of about 6 yards, and that's the sort of thing that Adam Adeniji is going to make a career out of at Nottingham Trent. He really is. It's the strength to get flipped in the last run of play like that, take that big hit, and then come straight back and still be able to run down their throats. So it's third down with about 5 to go. The Renegades starting to up their run game now, starting to get big yardage again, and I think it's probably about time that Harris starts looking down the field, connecting with Gonzalez, connecting with Harry Guest, connecting with Marcus Patches Boswell.
Well, the one touchdown of the game so far has come from such a play. All right, but it's handed off again to Adam Adeniji. Makes another looks as though only maybe a yard. Well held up there by by UoN defence. Now, we do live streams like this because not only do we have our strong support from families, from friends of the players who unfortunately can't attend the game, but we also have a key audience member, a big follower, and that would be Kim Walbers-Stone. We'd like to give you a shout out. Chris's mother, Chris's family, they watch these live streams, and we can get them out religiously to see just how well their son is doing over the pond, and we'd just like to say a big thank you for being with us today, having a watch of the games. All right, there's the punt from Rocket Reynolds. It's a great punt, deeper than Will Stanton was. They stopped it just before the line. That's outstanding work.
That is Alex Curry. He takes a hit there. Number 10, Walbers, tries to get the block on him. Alex Curry rides it, manages to stop it. It looks like perhaps 2 yards from the line, or has it been given as a touchback? I think it has been given as a touchback. Oh,
that is a serious shame for the NTU special teams there. I mean, we were talking about them earlier on. There have been some special teams issues in the past, but one thing I can comment on is the serious focus that has gone into training for special teams this year. They've actually looked outstanding in practice. They've performed really well against one another. One thing that NTU prides itself on is we claim that training is the hardest game we're ever going to get. Playing against ourselves is as tough as we can make it, and that's part of the reason we perform so well on game day. Is we're used to playing against the best. The defense is used to playing against the best offense at our level, and the offense is used to playing against the best defense at our level.
When you as a defensive player, when you get run over a few times by Adam Hope and Danny Miller, you do feel that you can tackle anything. And I'm sure when you take a few hits from the likes of Jamie, Rocket, Patches, you do feel a lot braver when you come down with that ball. But as I said, the Outlaws do have weapons on both sides of the ball. They do have a comprehensive defence. They always have done, and it's just sometimes their offence, as now, that's a scraggly pass.
Oh, it's picked up by Chris Stone.
By Chris Stone, taken down from behind, and that's. I was just saying they have always struggled on their offence, and as I say that, Chris Stone comes out of nowhere and takes the ball out of the receiver's hands. Doesn't make huge yardage on the return, but I don't think that really matters. When you make a pick in their half, then Renegades really should walk away from this drive with points.
That sort of field position is a dream for the offense, but it does seem as though we have a UoN player down on the field. We'll let you know how he's doing as soon as we can. But all the players taking a knee.
So there was a lot of speculation about how the league was going to sort itself out after the split last year. We had the likes of Derby, Loughborough, Birmingham. No longer, well, Derby the year before, but we no longer have these big games now, and it came about because of the likes last year of teams. I'm not going to point any fingers now. But you know who you are, that wouldn't turn up to games, unfortunately, would say, we can't get a team together, which is not only disappointing that they can't play the game, but also affects their progression as a team. So this is why Bucks have put in this two-tiered system, and now they're even talking about putting a third tier in, for the, I suppose for the progression and development. So Callum, I've got to ask you a question as well. Do you think, for number one, the Renegades deserve to be in the second tier? Should they be put straight into the Premiership? And two, do we actually need a third tier in British University American football?
Well, one thing this two-tier division has shown is that there is still some mismatches at the second division level. You've seen some of the score lines just in this division. It does. Excuse me, sorry. We'll just quickly point out number 8. He does seem to be walking off the field. He seems to be okay. There's the coach is escorting him off. It's good to see. At least he's up and walking. So he seems to have recovered okay. Sorry, but on the question of the divisions, we're still seeing some mismatches in the second division. Some of the score lines have been quite dramatic. The third tier might fix that issue. So we'll just quickly bring it back to play. Harrison stepping back, looking for the pass, sacked by number 54. That's Alex Maxton, the captain on defensive end that we talked to you about before. That is some very good work from the UoN defense there. A third tier, might regulate the issues that we have with some teams getting put up against teams they're not quite ready to compete against yet. But certainly NTU have had a chip on their shoulder this year about the fact that they were put in the second division. No offence to teams like Sheffield and Derby, but NTU felt they were definitely...
Defence of an eligible receiver. That's a 10-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
So it looks like that sack will be scratched. Going to be a first down for the Renegades again. That's unfortunate for Max Duke because that was a great opportunity for him and he took full advantage of it, brought Harris down in the backfield, and it's a shame that he's going to be brought back for holding. But sorry, you were saying...
There was a lot of confusion, and obviously some teams have to go up, some teams can't. It's a decision to be made, and the NTU Renegades felt that with their record in the plate, with their having won the plate just 2 years before, 2 years before the split, that they deserve to be in that first division, but they're fighting for it now and hopefully looking for promotion. Ball is handed off to Daniel Dobson, who gets his first carry of the day. No, the flag's thrown on the play. That could be for the celebrations afterwards, because there was an awful lot of...
I might call it on 44 here, unnecessary roughness, diving on Daniel Dobson when he was clearly on the ground. But I'm not a referee, so...
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm barely even a player.
But you've got the passion.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I understand what you're saying, but then you also have to look at the likes...
Offside, 90, lined up in the neutral zone. Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, piling on number 44. That's half the distance to the goal. First down.
God damn, I'm good.
My friend on commentary here is clearly on form. Jay claims he doesn't have his Madden, but he's been reading up on his rule book.
Yeah. But I was going to say is, if you look at the likes of the NTU Renegades as well, the Sussex Saxons, their starting season, okay, Renegades went 7-1 in their first season. Sussex Saxons went 8-0 in their first season. You do have some teams, okay, they are given an easier schedule, that come through, they play their games and they will win. It's unfortunate, the likes of the Worcester Royals, they've always struggled to get results.
Although, in fairness, it has to be said, Worcester have had an outstanding season this season so far.
I think their first win against the Outlaws last season helped kickstart their winning ways. It's difficult when you have teams that do struggle to compete, who don't then turn up to games, don't play their games wholeheartedly. They're never going to progress. They're never going to go forward. You know, if you want to have a drinking team, that's fine. By all means, have a drinking team, but at least, you know, honour your commitments to the league and turn up for your games and play the games and at least try and get better. You look at Worcester
Harrison
Royals.
stepping back.
Dropping back, looks to the pass to the Patches, and he's going to walk into the end zone, into the corner, untouched, which makes it 12-0 to the Renegades.
Just quickly, while we have a break, while the kickoff team enters the field, I've just got a message from Kim Walbers-Stone. We actually have one of Chris's best friends watching from Kuwait. He's actually serving in the army out there. He's watching this live stream today, so I'd just like to say hi, Justin Breen. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you're enjoying Chris's work on the field today. He's playing very, very well. But yeah, as it stands, 12-0. Here comes the kick. Oh. Is it?
Some confusion on the field there as to whether or not you should be part of the kicking team or not.
It looks as though they're going for 2 points here because... Pardon? Yeah, it looks as though they're going for the 2 points. Oh, flag's been thrown. Delay of game on the offence, yeah.
Sorry for that interruption there. We have young Toby Rose, a part-time commentator. I think I'm a little upset that the alumni and the media manager have kicked him out the booth a little bit here. Still trying to throw in his comments, but Harris drops back to pass, looks in the corner for Chris Stone, hauls it in, 2-point conversion, thank you very much. And it's as easy as that, 14-0.
So that's NTU up by 2 scores.
And the Seminoles chant is in full swing. Now, I was actually speaking to Chris after the first game of the season, and he did actually comment on my commentary, bless him. I won't repeat what he said on live stream, but he said that it's not quite the same as you'd expect in America. I do put things across slightly differently. I'm sorry. I played football for 3 years. I only do this because no one else wants the goddamn position. And I'm sure that if you do watch college football in America, NFL, and you see how smoothly they transition from one play to the next without trying to fill too much of your own personal experiences playing football or what you got up to last Friday, what you planned to have for dinner. I'm sorry, Get used to it, or put it on mute.
Kieran Gonzalez getting ready to kick off. So far, the NTU offence, after a struggle for the first maybe 5-10 minutes of the first quarter, have really put their stamp down on this game. Long, successful drives based on running with Adam Adeniji and Daniel Dobson, and then good passing from Harris Sen. Right, the kickoff from Kieran Gonzalez, very deep. Will Stanton on the reception, looking for a return, going to the right, and brought down by number 15, Bradley Page. He's a rookie that's just come in this year, actually. One that there's a lot of excitement about. He started at wide receiver, had some struggles with his catching. We'll say struggles, we'll be nice about it. But he transitioned to defence, went into cornerback after maybe the second game of the season, and really hasn't looked back. He's incredibly quick, very physical, very strong guy. And he's really put his stamp down on the cornerback position for next year.
He's already rocking the one sleeve, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, he's got... well, Chris compliments on it. He calls it swag. I don't quite understand the term, but apparently it's important in America.
It's something... Yeah, it's... if you look at Patches is always one of those players that has bags of swag.
Bags of swag, yeah, I like it. Bags of swag. Okay.
His swag bag is never empty.
All right, NTU defence. Oh, ball's thrown back to Paddy Hoban.
And that's, I think it might be, is that Stewie Smith?
It's Scott Benjamin, actually.
That's Scott Benjamin. Yes, sorry. There is a slight difference in stomach size. I should have spotted that from here.
It was a brilliant hold there, because all he had was a grip on the front of his jersey. Paddy Hoban was still at full run, and he just dragged him down. I wonder if the coach's comparisons to Marshawn Lynch might be a little bit...
I think perhaps they were being a little kind with that.
Yeah, but we're still yet to see any bone-crushing hits.
Yeah.
As of yet. I mean, they probably could well still happen, but this NTU defence does enjoy its physicality.
They certainly do. When you've got the likes of Jamie Johansson, to Scott Benjamin,
and Kieran Matthews as well.
Yeah.
Very physical players. That was a screen. And it's gone through. A missed tackle by the NTU defence there allows the play to really break. That's unfortunate for NTU, but it was a great play there by the Outlaws, who are looking to build some momentum on offence. They've struggled so far. 2 picks in a row on their last 2 offensive drives. So they're looking to build a head of steam to try and close this gap of 14-0.
I think if the Outlaws want to compete in this game properly, they need to get some points on the board first, and they need to score from this drive. They need to start answering the Renegades' punch.
Oh, a poor snap.
And it's a poor snap.
And it's a fumble, and it's recovered.
And it's a fumble recovery as well.
Yeah, it's been. Yep. That's so. The sack, I believe, was Scott Benjamin again. Another big play from Scott.
He is loving life in the middle of that linebacker core at the moment.
He was a rookie last year, and he stepped in from the very beginning. He featured in Explosion last year, our first game of the season, and he's never looked back. An incredible find for the NTU Renegades.
He's somebody that involves themselves quite heavily on and off the field. We were talking earlier on about that family on and off the field, and he is the core of it. I mean, I'm sure that the current Renegades won't mind, but the Renegades do refer to their president and vice president as mum and dad. The president and vice president are Lewis Glaze and Chris Stone. We'll let you guess which one's mum and which one is dad. But that run from Daniel Dobson is stopped as soon as it is handed off. It's unfortunate. Going nowhere quickly there, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, not Daniel Dobson. That's Abraham Taiwo.
Abraham Taiwo, okay. He's another rookie that's arrived this year. He's actually played American football before. He played along our second-string quarterback for a team in London. I can't remember the name. I apologise for that gap in knowledge. But he's a fiery individual, very intense.
That's one way of saying he runs hard.
He runs hard, yeah. He's not an easy one to bring down, and he never gives up on a run. That was Abraham again, and unfortunately once again brought down before he reaches the pylon. So that's a third down and at least.
And Daniel Dobson now does come onto the field. I will watch Abraham with avid interest as he is wearing my number, and I want him to do that shirt proud, to be honest.
Well, speaking of he's wearing your number. I don't know if you noticed, Scott Benjamin is actually wearing Jane Ballou's helmet.
Is he?
He's got the infamous tape across the face cage, and I don't think you could say he's not doing it proud with his performance so far today.
Absolutely. I'm sure Ballou will say, though, that when it gets to... it's a green pass, Daniel Dobson drops it, but Harris Sen was under pressure there. Good pressure there from the Outlaws line. No, what I was going to say was that when Scott Benjamin stops a drive entirely on his own with 2 run stops and a sack like Ballou did last season, I think then and only then can Scott truly say he is doing that helmet proud.
What's she saying?
But I'd just like to... I did mention earlier that Toby Rose had been kicked out of the commentary booth. He can't help himself. He climbs in.
I had to come across. I'm stood in the UoN end, and they're clueless.
This is why Toby Rose was substituted.
The microphone's been taken away. Apologies for that.
The snap is high, and it does bobble into the end zone. Rocket again putting a very strong right boot through it, sending it into the end zone. The Outlaws will start from their 20-yard line. The Renegades unable to take advantage of that glorious field position gifted them by that Scott Benjamin sack. But the Outlaws, they have to start doing something. They have to find some rhythm. They need to start utilising those weapons they've got on the offensive side of the ball. Now, their running game, they do seem to be getting some ground, but it's in spits and spats. Their passing game has been really hit and miss. One of those areas needs to start solidifying. You start looking at some of the people they have on that offensive side of the ball, the wide receivers, the running backs, a good offensive line. And there, right there is an example. And it is frustrating, even for me as a Renegades fan, an ex-Renegades player, to see you have an opportunity to make a play like that and they can't connect. And it's very frustrating for me as a spectator. It must be even more frustrating for them. And you can't help but feel that if they don't start making these connections, making this ground, taking their opportunities, that this game is going to run away from them very, very quickly.
Well, to our right, we have the UoN fans, and you're talking about frustrated. You can see them amongst themselves. They're clearly not getting the performance they were expecting from this team. There's been a lot of excitement, and we've seen from their scorelines, they're playing incredibly well so far, but they've not brought it out as of yet.
No, but that play there, another pass, Daniel Chiazza.
Yes, Daniele Chiazza.
Chiazza, well.
Yes, he's one of our rookies, and
is he? I'm guessing he's an overseas player.
Actually, no, doesn't speak a word of Italian.
Oh, okay.
But
he's not a good old London boy.
He is, yes. Yes, he is. He actually went to the same school as Scott Benjamin, so we have a little family connection there.
It's not associated with a mafioso.
Well, we'll tell you more about him after this play. Motion from number 10 there, handed off to, thrown to Paddy Hoban, excuse me, but tackled immediately by Alex Curry, and then gang tackle joined in Stewie Smith and Lawrence Coulson aiding with the tackle there. This NTU defence, it's swarming.
Yeah, it must be an intimidating thing to have to line up against them when the Renegades are like this. I've heard from a few players. I actually came up yesterday, being an alumni member. We had an alumni training session. In preparation for the Old Boys game, we've actually written a playbook which goes against everything we've ever done before, where the alumni just get really drunk and then attempt to play football. But I had a chance to speak to Lorcan Boyd, the veteran O-lineman, Josh Elwar as well, and a couple of other players, and they say that training sessions this side of Christmas haven't been their best. There's been a lot of frustration, a lot of stop and start. That high intensity that Callum was talking about earlier, I think, you train hard, you play easy. That's always been our mantra. But the guys seem to have put perhaps like 2 months frustration not being able to play a proper game of football aside now, and they're coming out and they seem to be firing on all cylinders. Okay, the last 2 offensive drives have stuttered a little, but the Renegades defence in particular have come out and they are playing at 100% from the get-go.
All right, Harrison in shotgun with, I believe it's Daniel Dobson in the backfield, although I can't tell for sure. I'll let you know as soon as I can see the numbers. We've got 2 more shout-outs here. We've got one from a current NTU player who's unfortunately not able to be with us today. Alex Cook is in Edinburgh. He's watching for us. And also, one big shout-out. Apologies if I don't say this right. Team... I'm going to say Gleas, Gleas. Apologies if I butchered that. They're watching from New York. They actually help British universities to recruit American scholars. And Will Stanton is actually one of theirs. And they've come on. They're enjoying watching the live stream, and they're enjoying watching one of their very own involved. Now, Harrison in the shotgun, getting closed on by 96, but tries to throw the ball to Daniel Dobson. Unfortunately, just a little too far ahead of him. He's not able to make the catch.
That sort of relationship, though, between British and American institutes, I think it's only going to benefit both parties here. A lot of NCAA players have come through to the Renegades. We have Chris Stone and Danny Miller as well. A lot of people may not remember it, but before Bucks stepped in, this was back in the day when the Renegades played in blue, a young wide receiver called Eric Motes, formerly of the Utah State Aggies and the Navy squad, came over and played 1 semester with us. And it's when you have the likes of those players come over and play, it really does show you, what the human body is capable of on a sports field, and it is really impressive.
Oh, outstanding catch there by Kieran Gonzalez. Jumps above 2 men who are trying to block him. Makes a great catch. I've also got to comment on...
There are 2 flags on the field, though, and I think it is offside by the defence, and I'm sure that penalty will be declined.
There was actually very good work on the behalf of the of Harris Sen there with the... in his cadence, shouts for the ball. It fooled the entire UoN defensive line. They all encroached on the neutral zone, and the immediate snap after that worked very well for NTU. But yeah, penalty declined because of what was frankly a very, very good catch by Kieran Gonzalez.
Yeah.
He's good at that. He's not the tallest player, but he's got a leap on him and he's fearless. And you've got to credit him with that. I've not seen him drop a ball from contact. I've not seen him shy away from a catch.
But he can drop a ball before he gets into the end zone, though.
An unfortunate mark on his repertoire. All right, fake handoff to Patches. Finds Chris Stone with a diving catch for maybe a 5-yard gain. Very, very nice catch there from Chris Stone. Another good play design from the Renegades there, faking the handoff to Patches, and we've seen 4 times now the fake handoff to Patches. He's gone out wide, and each time it's then been thrown to him. And I think the the UoN defense actually bit on that, and it was exploited very well by Harris Sen and Chris Stone.
But Harris was put under a lot of pressure there. Harris is a tall quarterback, standing at about 6'3". He does have that ability to be able to look over a defensive line. And
Daniel Dobson gets the ball, finds a gap.
Fumble. And I think that has been recovered by the Outlaws. It has, and that's unfortunate because that does put the Renegades, another golden opportunity to score has been taken away, and it's just unfortunate that that came when it did, because they really were knocking on the door there.
Yeah, that's the first turnover fumble I've seen in quite a while from the NTU Renegades. We mentioned before, they've given up a couple of interceptions throughout this season, but
yeah,
I've not seen many fumbles. That's unfortunate from Daniel Dobson there, who's been running hard most of this season.
We do apologise if you can hear us talking to other people as they walk past. It's just great to be able to come back and see everyone. Several girlfriends and lovers walking behind us. I just hope they don't bump into each other. And it's great because you come back, especially from an alumni point of view, you come back and everyone that you meet that you used to play ball with, and it is, I can't keep saying it, but I can't find another word for it. It is like a family. It is great to be back. But anyway, back to the action. That was an attempted run there, up the middle. It was a pass out wide, then cut back inside, didn't go anywhere really for them. I think they made it back to the line of scrimmage, and it will be a 2nd down now. The Outlaws really can't do much from this position. They're just would have to keep pounding away, hoping to get a 1st down, which could then free up more of their playbook, because they really can't take too many risks this close to their own end zone.
Sorry for the lulling commentary. There's not an awful lot going on in the field. One thing, you mentioned him before, Daniele Chiazza. He's one I do really want to highlight as a rookie who's come into this defence. We spoke, you and Baloo leaving left a big void in the D-line, and it did require other people to step in. The D-tackle position was filled in by Stewie and Lawrence Coulson, but there was a gap at D-end that needed filling. We'll just quickly, 84 with the reception.
Alex Curry with the big hit, Patches helping out, and Jamie Johansson O2 just making sure that player does hit the ground, and it does look like they've made that 1st down, which should...
Oh, they're not moving the pylons just yet.
It must be very close.
Yeah.
It must be, it's 3rd down and about 2, I'd say.
Yeah. All right, so this is a very important play here then for UoN. Obviously all plays are important, but 3rd and 2, they need to get ahead of steam. It's a poor snap.
Looking for that pass.
Finds it.
And that is a 1st
Great
down.
gang tackle. They're trying to rip the ball. It looks as though it was good ball security on behalf of UoN.
But that is that 1st down that the Outlaws were looking for, and this will give them a chance now to start a drive, looking to get in the end zone, try and get some points on the board. But they did well to get that 1st down. Okay, their first play wasn't the best, but they came back with 2 solid plays to follow it, and they have got that 1st down. And this is now a chance for them to start expanding into the rest of their playbook now, looking for those deep passes. I think it's about time now that they started testing the secondary properly.
Yeah. That catch and the very good ball security was shown by Tom Morris, number 14. Another poor snap. Number 5's having to run. Oh, he's going back far. He's almost in his own end zone. Gets the ball away. Tipped by Alex Curry. Can't quite get a second hand on to get the interception, but that's very good cornerback work there. But well done for the quarterback, trying to, under a lot of pressure, running around in his own backfield, still manages to get off a pass.
Daniel Chiazzo there, coming in, looking for that sack, manages to turn the QB back inside, and the QB Sam Wright managing to get his feet underneath him, set himself, tries to find his man deep down the field, but Alex Curry makes a good pass deflection there. Yeah,
Daniele Chiazza, he's perfect. He's the perfect build for a D-end. He's strong, he's tall, and he employs it very well, and he's really dominated that right end position since his arrival. All right, waiting for the snap. Number 5 takes it shotgun. Looking for a receiver, and he finds
it.
Number 84.
It wasn't completed though. You couldn't bring it in. And it's again now going back. The Outlaws, they've had a successful couple of drives, plays in this drive, and it's those opportunities that would have made it 3rd and perhaps 1 or 2. The pass wasn't great. He still could have caught it. The pass could have been better. The catch could have been better. It's these little mistakes now that are really going to start punishing the Outlaws, because they're 3rd and 10 now. If they don't get this, they're going to have to punt it, and they'll find themselves back. They're going to find themselves in this position time after time after time if they can't start rectifying those little things, taking in the catches, getting a good pass, making that step, good blocking, and now I think there has been a false start on the offensive line or delay of play.
We'll wait and hear what the referee is called as soon as we can.
First time out.
Time out.
Okay, there we go then.
Because I was about to say they wouldn't stop the play before the snap or after the snap, unless it was an offensive interference or infringement.
So the NTU defence taking the opportunity for a water break and to have a chat with their DC, Carl Walkinshaw. We talked about the NTU defence being perennially a very tough unit, a very stingy unit, and that's down to, it's down to the work of all the coaches, but one figure who's been there this entire time is Carl Walkinshaw, the defensive coordinator. A very intense coach. He demands the best of his players, and he gets it. I mean, you see the linebacker core, for instance. You've got Kieran Matthews, who you perhaps might consider a little undersized, dominating his position. Scott Benjamin, again, playing inside linebacker. Again, not considered perhaps quite big enough. You're looking more for someone the size of Jamie Hunton O2 for that sort of position, but Scott Benjamin plays just as hard.
Yeah, I mean, my time at the Renegades, I found Carl at times a little difficult to get on with, but then you're not looking for a best friend from a defensive coordinator, really, are you? You're looking for someone that you can respect. And the cornerback flushed out the pocket, and Jamie Johansson O2 misses the tackle and gifts Sam Wright the first down, and that was a great scramble from the Outlaws quarterback. Made the most of a really, really poor opportunity.
The coach is actually, the UoN coach has actually brought that to my attention earlier. He's scored a few rushing touchdowns because he's very quick, he's very good. If the pocket collapses, he can't find a pass, and he can make a run to the outside. He's employed that a few times and got touchdowns from it, and right now we've just seen him get a first down from what should have been a broken play.
Yeah, but
made the best of a bad situation.
I will just finish
well.
what I was going to say about Carl, because if he
if he hears that, he's only got a very slanted view of what you're trying to say.
I say a difficult man to get on with, but a man that you instantly respect. And Sam Wright does take a knee there off a poor snap, and a man that you do come to instantly respect, because he will scream and he will yell and he will. It is his way or the highway, but his way is exceptionally experienced, exceptionally talented, and for football knowledge of how to run a defence and how to shut it down. You know, we're all here to learn, and I don't think there's anyone better to learn from, really.
No.
An exceptionally good player as well. I wouldn't say over the hill, but I think he's cresting it.
For what it's worth, as a current still playing NTU member on this defence, Carl, I disagree with everything Baseline has said so far. All right, the QB breaking to the outside again. He's going for that run once again.
And Stewie Smith comes across.
Alright, he got pushed out of play by number 21,
Lewis
Chris Stone.
No,
Sorry, how could we forget that? Okay. I believe
I
that's the half.
That might have come up to half time, and as that comes to a close, the Renegades are leading 14. are on the cusp of being a very, very strong team.
A contender, a serious contender in the division.
Yeah.
Well, it's also UoN came here, and there was a lot of talk pre-game. UoN were excited. They felt this was their year to really turn things around, to break the 5-0 clean winning streak that NTU have. So far, we can't see it, but hopefully the second half is going to bring some more competitive game, and hopefully UoN can come into this a bit more.
I don't want anyone hearing this thinking that I want UoN to win at all. I do not want UoN at all.
I would like to say I don't, purely to counteract that I'm not biased at all. I promise. Alright, so Kieran Gonzalez ready to start this second half.
Look for the Outlaws here to get a good return and hopefully set themselves up in a good field position so they can No, you can't, Wilkins. That's the Renegades village idiot. Andrew Wilkins there. Always got a comment and a beer. Or a hip flask actually today, so he's found one way of keeping warm.
Alright, so kick off.
Gonzalez kicks. It is
64 gets the ball.
A little bit of a skew-if kick, and he's looking to run around the outside.
Oh!
And another
brought down by 12, and then another hit from Scott Benjamin.
Scott Benjamin. He's got rid of his sleeves.
Yep. He did promise me earlier on today that he'd been pumping up for this game for about a week. He was very excited. I had a good long chat with him last night about the game. He's ready for this. His prep was watching The U Part 2. He was once again talking about that swag that you and I don't really understand.
I played D-line. You didn't need swag.
I also played D-line, so you can understand where our mentality is focused.
Yeah. My idea of swag is having a burger afterwards.
That's swag. That's swag. All right, number 5, Sam Wright in the shotgun. Let's see if he's going to turn things around this second half. Right, takes the snap. Hands off to number 25. So Paddy Hoban's been taken out. But once again,
good gang tackling, makes about 2 yards there.
Jamie Johansson O2 involved, Stewie Smith involved. I mean, you're seeing a solid effort from the entire NTU defence there.
Middle defence, you're not going to run too far up that.
No. Finding a break. See, that's the problem. Your runs through the middle are going to go up against Jamie Hanson's O2, against Scott Benjamin, and against a very strong D-tackle interior. Your runs to the outside are going to come up against the cornerbacks and the safeties of Chris Stone, Marcus Patches-Boswell, the outside linebackers, Kieran Matthews, Matt Priest, Lewis Glaze, Alex Curry. Try and pick a weakness. That's the problem. All right, number 5. All right, motion from Will Stanton. Takes the snap. Hands off to number 26. Fakes the throw to number 10. 26 brought down there.
Alex Curry there tackling above his weight like he always does.
Alex Curry is one of these players. He's not the biggest. You wouldn't expect him to be the strongest, but I'll tell you what, very rarely see a play go by him.
He's got a heart of a lion, he really has. That does put the Outlaws, however, in a third and what looks like a 4-yard situation.
Yeah. Third and short means they can utilise more plays in their playbook. They don't need to be looking for a big game play. They just really need to force these three yards. That's what they need to do, is literally just get the first downs every time.
Yeah.
Not try anything huge. Just try and make sure they stay on the field for as long as they can and force their way down. Right, motion from number 80. Sam Wright takes the ball, hand off to 26. He's looking for it, and he's made the first down.
Takes the first down and a little more.
Perhaps 2 yards further than the first down, but there we go. That's exactly what we were talking about them needing. A good, strong run up the middle, try and get first down, keep themselves on the field. Now, number 20, I think it's 26 who's playing running back right now. Sorry, there's... Oh, a 5-yard penalty against the UoN offense. I'm sorry, I didn't see a flag thrown, and I don't know what it's for.
So, the Outlaws are taken back now. It looks like there's a first down. No, now it's been marked up as a third down, so it is now third down and about 8 yards to go. It's unfortunate. I should say it was. I don't know what the call was, but it's a first down. It's been brought back for a mistake. Yeah. It's that what's been plaguing the Outlaws all game so far, and it's just you need a lot of things to go right if you're going to win a football match. But you also need to stop things going as wrong as they have done for the Outlaws. It's been unfortunate. Sam Wright looks out
Deep pass to number 14. That's Tom Morris. The ball goes through his hands. He's not able to make the catch for what would have been a very big game for UoN, one of their biggest plays of the day if that had gone through.
Now, again, not a great pass from Sam Wright.
Overthrown somewhat.
Overthrown. It looks like that we wanted to come over his right shoulder. He had his hands out looking over his right shoulder, and you saw him there. He turned around, looked over the left. By the time that he's done that, it's gone over his head. And it's unfortunate that, again, Outlaws couldn't capitalise on it. Not an easy position, but they're going to have to now stop the Renegades offence.
It's a fake punt. 52 gets back to the... He's made the first down. A very well executed fake punt there from UoN. No one was prepared for that on the NTU defence, and you can see Chris Stone is not happy for letting that break.
Yeah. Marcus Patches-Boswell there had the chance to bring the man down short of the pylons, and I think he's probably a little frustrated with himself. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Renegades defence have employed a different tackling technique. They're taking the hit out the tackle. They're going for that more rugby-style tackle, wrapping the legs up. Patches, he loves putting a lick on people, and I think he tried a little bit too hard to put a lick on someone that was just a little bit too big.
The emphasis has been put on getting the man this year, and then holding on to him long enough that other people can join in if you don't bring him down on your own. It's less about the power hit, it's more about the team gang tackle, with the effort of slowing down, trying to rip the ball. All right, Sam Wright fakes the handoff, he's rolling out, he's going to go for it, and there's no one out there to stop him. Tackled well by Alex Curry, who we mentioned already, with a big hit, but that's a first down, so UoN are managing to keep themselves on the field.
Josh Elwell there, not perhaps doing
his role on D-line is to contain a run like that. It's the QB shouldn't be able to get outside of the defensive end. That's his job.
Is one of those players, he runs hot or cold. There are games that he plays where you wouldn't recognise him, and then there are games where, he seems to just miss the plays. It's frustrating for a player because I've been in that situation as well. I used to play on D-line with him and I've made mistakes. I've had bad games. But the fundamentals, you play defensive end, you play on the end of the line. That end of the line is yours. You don't let the running back come outside you, and you certainly don't want to see the quarterback scrambling past you either.
Was a good tackle there from Scott Benjamin.
The Outlaws now putting together a drive.
Yes,
things are starting to go well for them. They had a bit of luck, okay,
with the fake punt, a well executed one, but a fake punt nonetheless. This is what they need. They need to build a head of steam. They need to keep themselves on the field. They need to not take any risks with their passes, not take any risks with their ball control. If they don't think they're going to get anywhere, get down. Don't take a risk on the play. You've got 2 more downs.
Okay, Sam seems to be composing himself a little bit. He's not forcing anything, and he seems to be using his feet a lot more. If the pass isn't there,
fake handoff to both, but I think that was
that may have been Scott Benjamin coming in on the blitz from the outside. Stops the run for no gain. And that should bring up 3rd down now. So you're looking at 3rd down and 6. If I was the Outlaws here, I'm sorry, but I'd have to trust Sam Wright's arm at the moment.
I mean, the running plays have been working. They've been getting yards off them, but 3rd and 6, it's dangerous running territory.
Yeah, the Renegades defense, once you annoy them and you start running on them, and they're going to be annoyed they're going to come off this drive and they're going to be frustrated with themselves. I wouldn't want to run into them at the moment.
No. All right. In the shotgun, 80 motions to the right.
And it is a
handed off to number 29. If anyone on Twitter can do me a massive favour and tweet in the name of number 29, he's been playing incredibly well and we're not really able to give him any credit, although unfortunately I might have just cursed at the commentator and he's now injured. So
that was a
apologies.
gang tackle there by what looked like Scott Benjamin, with Chris Stone rushing in to make sure that he didn't use his momentum to get the 1st down, and it looks like he has been stopped about 3 or maybe 2 yards shy of the 1st down.
Unfortunately, he's been playing he's coming just at the beginning of this half. He's only played this drive, and he's been running a lot better than Paddy Hoban had.
Yes.
And that's clearly been what the coaching staff have focused the faults of the first half on, unless there's an injury issue, but he seemed to be okay at the half time. It seems that they've decided that it's a change of running back they need. He's actually...
It looks like he has gone off under his own steam.
Yeah.
And
have they... Sorry for the confusion on our behalf here. We're not entirely sure if someone's come on for him or...
Okay, but
Oh no, he's still on the field. He's still on the field, so good for him. I'm good to see.
Outlaws have decided to go for it. I was going to say, if you're the Outlaws OC at the moment, you've got to go for it. Okay, this is the best position you've been in all day. Okay, it's 4th down, but it's a do or die moment, and
I mean, there's an argument for the field goal just to get the points, but he's made the first down.
Draw, and it is a first down, and that's something that the Renegades defence does typically struggle on, is those trick plays. That was a QB draw. It was a well executed QB draw as well. You saw earlier another trick play with the fake punt. Whether or not it was engineered or not, because it was a slightly skew-if snap, but at the end of the day, it got the first down, much like that did. And the Outlaws now, they've turned the tables a little bit. They are starting to ask questions of this Renegades defence, and now it seems like the Renegades defence perhaps don't have the answer for those trickier questions.
It's the run game this half. The run game's been what they've utilised almost exclusively, and it's worked very well so far. But you can see NTU are lining up a lot in the middle, putting a lot of strength down there, going for a big blitz. Sam Wright finds Will Stanton. Oh, and he fumbles it! You might never know. I think they've gone incomplete catch. I don't think he ever had control of the ball.
That's a great hit by Chris Stone there, coming in, laying his man out, not giving the receiver a chance to haul that ball in. And it's that sort of intensity now, that those sorts of players, I was talking about at half-time, you need an Outlaws player to step up, start making some inroads. The Renegades defence has struggled on this drive. Chris Stone comes in, makes a hit like that, it's going to fire everyone up. The D-line, in particular, they need to get back to where they were at the end of the first half. At the moment, they seem to be letting those run plays go through them a little bit. They're not putting Sam Wright under as much pressure as they were. But we'll have a look at this play. It's another handoff up the middle. A big mess in the middle. Patches comes in, tries to rip the ball out, and it is stopped, I think, perhaps after a 2 or maybe 3 yard gain. But the Renegades now seem to be getting the measure of this run game. There was a big mess. I just said the D-line perhaps weren't as effective as they were as towards the end of the first half, but they really made a mess of that O-line, closed up all the holes. He had to bounce it out to the outside where you, as Callum mentioned earlier, you've got the likes of Patches, you've got the likes of Rocket. I think they're going to have to start... Their run game is going well in this second half, but they can't exclusively rely on it. Sam Wright now drops back. He had a man open and it is overthrown, and that should bring the end to the drive now, unless
you've got to think field goal here. They need to get some points on the board, but we'll just have to wait and see. One other shout out that's just been brought to my attention. I'm having a little chat with Kim Walworth-Stone, Chris's mother that we mentioned earlier on, and it would seem that she's not the only maternal figure in his life that's enjoying the game so far. We have Grandma Dorothy watching the game today as well. So, hello, Grandma Dorothy. Thank you for joining us, and I hope Chris is playing to the standard you expect of your obviously favourite grandson.
It's great to see that a grotty little rock in the middle of the North Atlantic makes so many Americans happy, isn't it?
That's what we're here for.
Oh, and an incomplete pass there on 4th down does mean that drive does come to an end. It was an impressive drive for the Outlaws. It was a first chance to see what they're capable of. We were talking about it earlier, saying that they do have good players on their team. They do have the ability to make yards and to get points. But the end of that drive sort of showed what's fundamentally not wrong, but is lacking in the Outlaws' arsenal at the moment, and that is that clinical precision. You know, there are 2 chances there, 2 open guys, both passes missed, and it's just a shame that they can't capitalise on their field position and on their opportunities.
I appreciate that they are 14-0 down, and obviously they want the big plays, but the game, it's just the beginning of the second half. The field goal, get 3 points on the board, get something going for themselves would have been a good idea. Patch is brought down from a double tackle, one low, one high, but he retains the ball well.
Okay. Well, right there, it's chalk and cheese now between the Renegades and the Outlaws. Same situation. Harris is forced out the pocket, has to pass, has a man open, a little high. Patches is also a little short. But they make it, take the ball in.
But that's the beauty of having those.
Patches, you saw 2 men coming in, didn't try and do anything fancy, takes the ball, secures it, takes the hit, first down. They've made 20 yards. They're not looking to score on every play. Adam Adeniji. And Adeniji steps 1, steps 2, breaks the tackle, heads upfield, puts on the afterburners, and is finally pushed out of bounds at around the 30-yard line.
One thing in training that's always entertaining is whenever there's a Oklahoma drills linebacker or running back, yeah, the only way you ever see Adeniji stopped is a push out of bounds.
Yeah.
He's very hard to bring down, tackle. He's so quick, he's so strong. He came into this season last year that the expectations were high from. Chris Stone labelled him as the player to make a difference for NTU this year, and he has been exceptional thus far. All right, Harrison, hands off to Adeniji. Adeniji tries to break to the outside, but Alex Maxton is there to make the stop and stop the play from going too far.
It's an interesting lineup actually. On that side of the line, you have Maxton, and you also have a classic figure in the Renegades lineup, Stuart McFadden. Big Stu. Big Stu. A lovely guy. I had the opportunity to go out and wet my whistle last night, and he works in the SU, so it was great to have a chat with him and enjoy his company. But I think that's a lineup that is very interested. Big Stu came into this game. And Patches isn't able to bring it in. Sorry, Big Stu came into the fold last year as a rookie, and the O-line was struggling last year. It continues to struggle a little this year, but has made a massive impact. And I think with the likes of Lorcan Boyd now in his final year, a stalwart offensive lineman, I really do think that Big Stu is able to, when Lorcan does graduate at the end of this year, Big Stu will be there to continue to pass the baton on to. And James Ballou before has once again joined me in the commentary booth, and I would like to just extend an apology for anything he's about to say.
I'm going to be perfectly frank.
Adam Adeniji on the screen, sticks a hand off on one, steps another, does go backwards, and is eventually brought down for, I think, perhaps a gain of maybe 1.
Maybe 1 or 2 yards.
So, but Lou, my fellow D-lineman, how are you rating the D-line of this year compared to the D-line of last year?
I'm going to be honest, and I'm not going to be biased either, but I would say that we're missing something.
Is it us two?
Probably us two, yeah. But I did speak to one of the coaches, and they said that it's probably that aggressive mentality that's just not completely there.
Yeah. When you have the likes of Josh Elwar, Lollipop, Stewie, guys that have been around, but also guys that don't, as you say, don't necessarily have that aggression. Perhaps you're not looking at someone to scream and shout on every play, but you're looking for someone to
definitely
give you advice.
I think that I was never really an aggressive player, apart from when I was enjoying myself, and I think that was the difference that we had there.
And it looks like the Renegades there are going to be pinged on a full start. They're 4th and down at the moment.
But yeah, like I'd say, Josh Elwhar's not really an aggressive guy. He's a technical guy. He's more of a thinker. Lollipop, he gets some good tackles in. He's very aggressive, physical player. But I think with a lot of D-line coaches, I think that you need to be really aggressive to be good at the position. I'd somewhat disagree, but I'd say that there's an element of that you need.
It's controlled aggression, isn't it?
Controlled aggression, definitely.
We're taught that you do need aggression, but you need to be able to control it as well.
Yeah.
So the Renegades decide to go for the punt, and there is another flag on the field. It's an illegal substitution on the Renegades, and they're going to be brought back even further. And it's a shame because the Renegades, we're just complimenting them on their ability to complete their passes, and now they suddenly find themselves 4th and 25 or so, looking at the punt. It's a good snap to Rocket, gets the kick away, not the best kick in the world, but it bobbles along the ground, makes its way.
20-yard line, just short of the 20-yard line, I think.
Anyway, I'd just like to thank Ballou for his calm and collected mentality.
No worries, thank you very much for having me.
It's a nice change from the normal Ballou that is on the sidelines. Yeah. It must be great being unemployed because you can just sit around drinking all the time.
I'm employed.
Sorry for the slight sidebar there.
Anyway, let's get back to the business in hand. Football, not our own personal relationships with one another or the bottle. Don't leave your drink here, I'll drink it. Right, so the Outlaws come out first down on the 12-15 yard line and sort of run up the middle. And you'll have to forgive my lack of commentary, but there is unfortunately a number of spectators standing right in the way and I cannot see.
I'll pop myself around the side.
2 seconds. Bernie! You just shift to the left a bit, please, mate.
There we go.
I can now see.
Eye line returned.
Yep.
Alright,
So the Outlaws setting up, second down. Looking
Sam,
for 3 yards to get to the first.
I see Paddy Hoban's back in the backfield. Alright, motion from Will Stanton. Sam Wright takes a snap, fakes the handoff. It's out to Will Stanton.
Some good blocking, but...
That was a face cage on Matt Priest. Well, it seemed from here. I don't know what the referees think of that.
It looked like he was complaining about it as well.
The handoff was certainly face area, but the referees seem to think that was okay.
You are allowed to hand off in the face cage,
Yeah,
aren't you? As long as the arm
There's
is
no
stiff.
grip as well, yeah.
The arm is straight.
I think that must have been Matt Priest's argument, is that it was a grip more than a handoff. But no, the referees were happy with it. But it's not a big game. They're still looking at 3rd and 5 yards. It's been a tough day.
It has.
It must be a painful day so far for UoN offense. But see how it goes. We've actually got a shout out from pitch side to the States. Patch's mother would like to say hello to Chris's mother, the maternal figures of the two NTU stalwarts.
Sam right there.
Communicating through us.
Sam right there, relying on his feet again to get him out of trouble. There is a flag on the play, however, and it looks to be coming from the backfield. So, and I think it is a holding call. So that play will be brought back, and again another first down for the Outlaws, brought back on a penalty. And it's just seems to become the running trend of the day now, doesn't it? Really. Baloo unfortunately has not buggered off yet and still wants to talk to us. So let's hear what he has to say.
Just like to give a shout out to the Hallam Warriors, who I believe, well, I think they're playing a game today. But to Davey Silver, who's just messaged me, to give Hallam a shout out. Great team, good coaching unit. Some of the coaches also coach for the Sheffield Predators, which are also a brilliant team, and anyone in those areas should try to contact them and play for them.
I love all the little facts and figures that come out of the woodwork when you're commentating on a football match.
The beauty of Twitter, really uniting people we don't know.
Yeah, social media.
At its finest.
And I was told not to talk to strangers.
But now it's okay.
Now it's okay.
That's not advice we actually give.
No. I'm not a father yet, so I can say what I want.
The change of quarter really brings out the best in us.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so
for goodness sake, play some football. Absolute rubbish.
please save us from ourselves.
No, but coming into the last quarter, the game does seem to have slowed down a lot. It does become a little bit of a defensive battle, which is always fun to see.
Yeah.
But not when it's just 3 and outs constantly. But
for defensive players, it's enjoyable. For us, we get to see the physicality, the one-on-one matchups that really symbolise someone wanting to play on defence. But for spectators at home, it seems to have quietened down in terms of the attacking output, unfortunately. But UoN are doing what we were saying. They're staying on the ball. They're doing their best to.
They're looking for about 14 yards here for that first down.
It's going to be a struggle.
It's almost like an option run, but it's going nowhere fast.
It's not worked out.
Unfortunately,
I think that was Scott Benjamin again with the tackle.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is that if the scoreline stays the way it is now, it's going to be frustrating for both teams. A shutout for UoN. They didn't want to come here and be shut out of the game. They didn't want to lose it. And it's also going to be frustrating for the Renegades because ultimately they haven't, I don't think, played to their full potential. They could and should have scored more points than 14. I think if it stays the way it is, both teams are going to come away from this match feeling a little disappointed. But it's a Fumbled snap, not the best punt in the world. Chris Stone lets it bounce once, twice, picks it up off his knees and has space on the right. And
Ball secured. Yeah, makes about 5 yards maybe.
Gang tackled there. Now, it's difficult to see, obviously, standing on the sidelines as opposed to actually having the ball in your hand. And I've only ever had the ball in my hand in a game once, and it lasted for about 3 seconds. But you always tend to see more caps than the running back. And for me, Chris Stone is a great player and he's very quick. I was just wondering if he had bounced outside there and trusted his blockers to do a little bit more work, whether or not he would have made a bit more yardage there.
Another thing, there are obviously other games going on today, but we can't find any score updates. So sorry if you're coming here trying to find some updates for the scores in other games. Also, please feel free to tweet in with scores going on elsewhere, and we'll do our best to keep you up to date on other games. But as it stands, we're here, 14-0. Harrison takes a snap. Looks to Kieran Gonzalez, who takes the play. There's some good blocking there from O-lineman, and Kieran Gonzalez makes a good 15, maybe 20-yard run there.
Is a flag on the play, though, and I don't know. I have a...
It could be on a block from an O-lineman, perhaps.
I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to come back on the Renegades, holding.
Yeah, it seems holding, perhaps.
Back.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate, because Kieran Gonzalez is normally employed as a deep threat. He's sometimes referred to on the team as something of an Energizer bunny. He runs forever. He'll go down the field, he'll come back. He'll go down the field, he'll come back. It's rare to see him on such a short, perhaps a screenplay. Normally those are the field of speciality for someone like Patches Boswell, someone like that.
Yeah.
But he did his best on the play. He gained good 15, 20 yards. Unfortunately, a block on the O-line wasn't quite within the boundary of the rules, and it's brought back to first down 15. Harris then takes a snap. Motion from Patches Boswell. Fakes the handoff. Looks deep to Chris Stone, who makes the catch, and he's going all the way.
He should take it to the house, and he does. And
20-0 as it stands. Another very nicely designed play with Patches faking the handoff.
There is a flag on the play, though. And I don't know whether it was to do with the block that was down the field by number 89.
That would be Luke Barber, number 89, a rookie from this year.
The referees are just conversing with Luke Barber and the blocked player. I think there was a little bit of afters, and they just settled it down, shaking hands. So it looks like the TD does stand, and the extra point now is coming up for Kieran Gonzalez. On a side note, though, I've just been watching a few of the players. Evan Totus is a really substantial player, isn't he?
Evan Totus, nicknamed Marshmallow on the team. Very proud of the nickname. He actually has it sticking across
dead
his
ball
helmet.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, diving into the end zone. That's 15 yards, that's accepted and will be administered on the extra point.
Right, okay, so Chris Stone, unsportsmanlike conduct, diving into the end zone with, I guess you call it a celebration for his touchdown. A harsh penalty. I mean, it's the rules. You don't celebrate a touchdown, but these players train 3-4 times a week. That's not including gym sessions. You think they could celebrate when they do well, but it's the rules, and shouldn't have been done.
It's
15 yards on the extra point.
It's something that is somewhat of a shady area with regards to the rules of the football game. I'm sure anyone that follows college football will remember that fake punt by LSU. Very well executed. The punter must have run in from about 35, 40 yards. Raised his arm in celebration about 1 yard before he broke the plane, and the whole play was called back just because he had done that. Now, to me, you don't celebrate the unsportsmanlike conduct is just that. It is unsportsmanlike conduct. To raise your arm, to dive into the end zone, for me, it's not rubbing it in the face of the opposition at all. It is. It's enjoying the moment. You've just contributed a score to your team's game. But anyway.
So it's now an elongated.
It looks
like they're going for 2.
It does look like they're going for 2.
All right, Harrison takes a snap.
Drops back.
Oh, there's no gap. He's running, so he's going to have to run the whole way now. And he doesn't. He's not going to make that. A good tackle there from number 44. That was actually Matt Thorns, Rover linebacker for UoN. He was one highlighted to me by the UoN staff with a good tackle there on Harrison to prevent the 2 points. So that keeps the game at 20-0 as it stands. To 3 scores would put UoN in the lead. It's a big ask as it stands.
We're approaching the twilight years of this game now, and I think the winner has already been decided this game.
Unfortunate though that is. Yes, it has, really.
I mean, you
barring some miraculous comeback, of course.
You could, it's the first score of the half, and we're halfway through the fourth quarter, so, it was always on a knife edge going either way. I think both teams will have come out of this game frustrated, to say the least.
Yes, NTU had heard the claims coming out of the UoN camp. They were expecting a big game, they were expecting a hard game. They were expecting UoN to come here with their first real chance, as they were claiming, of winning this game. And NTU prepared with that mentality. They prepared to have a tough game, and it's not been what was expected, which is unfortunate because these rivalries are normally so fiery, so intense, and so close. The scorelines might not reflect how close they've been, but they're normally close. Whereas this one, you couldn't really say that about it. The scoreline's perhaps favouring UoN in terms of the game itself. All right, Will Stanton with the return. There's flags all over the place, so I'm not sure what they're for. Perhaps holding on a block, I'm not sure. But, it's not been the game that was expected, and that's very unfortunate.
No, it's... I'm sure the Outlaws will go away with this. They'll be disappointed in not only the result, but also the way they've played their game. They had their chances. They had the opportunities to make a real impression. I'm not going to disagree with what the coach has said when he said this is the first proper chance that the Outlaws have had to really
10 yards will be added to the end of the run. First down. 10 yards that way.
It looked like there was a block in the back there from a Renegades player, so they've been penalised. But what you said, the Outlaws coach saying the first opportunity, I wouldn't disagree. This Outlaws team looks like it is one of the best in more recent years, but they haven't made the best of their opportunities. They haven't taken their chances.
You would expect a big rise in quality to have a competitive varsity fixture, considering what we've seen here today.
Well, not even a rise in quality. It's
in execution.
Execution. It's the little things. For one, a decent pass, a decent catch, decent blocking up front. Things that do happen and have happened.
Number 5, Samurai out short to 80, making a 7-yard gain on the play, maybe 8.
So there we go. Okay. Decent pass, decent catch, decent blocking, 8 yards. That's money in the bank. You do that 3 or 4 times, and then you can start unleashing the further passes, involving more run plays.
If you make the defence have to worry about the short pass, force them to worry about the run, they've got to compensate for that. Then you can exploit deep passes. But right now, the NTU defence aren't fearing anything.
At the moment, if you watch the 2 safeties at the moment, because the Renegades have started to experiment a lot with playing 2 safeties. Chris Stone, and at the moment it's Rocket. Now, at the moment they're not so much, but before they were standing perhaps 10 yards off the line of scrimmage because they just didn't respect the deep pass at all. Now,
I don't think they got the first down there. No, but well held back there by the D lineman. Matt Priest was involved in the tackle, but Daniele Chiazza got involved, and Kira Matthews' baby bash was involved also. That's third down and 2 still.
Yeah. And I only said they're not respecting the deep pass. It's because they don't have to. It's because they're not executing the deep pass when they do throw it. I mean, if you can see it now, Chris Stone actually is standing perhaps 2 yards back from the middle linebackers.
Yeah, they're not worried about it. I mean, there is a pass there,
and it does go complete. And
that's Will Stanton. But you see, that's what they need to do.
That's a good pass. It's a good catch. It's a well-executed route. Yeah. It's 10 yards. It's a first down.
You make them fear the run. Safety has to step forward to be prepared for that, and it leaves a gap, and a gap they can exploit.
Yeah.
That's the first defense exploited play I've really seen from UoN. And that's what they need to do more. They need to plan against what's in front of them rather than just go with their play.
Chris Stone is one of those players that you have to plan for accordingly when you are coming up against him. Now, and I'm sure Sam Wright has been keeping an eye on him.
Oh, so that's Paddy Hoban with the ball, making good yards there. Actually, a very nice
good
play.
Run up the middle. Was it stripped though? It looks like it might be a turnover, and it is. It is given to the Renegades, and that's a shame again. But it's those little things holding onto the ball. It's a shame you have 2-3 great plays on a drive, and then it's undone in an instant with poor discipline and poor ball retention.
Poor ball security, yeah, and we've seen that be an issue a couple of times. 2 fumbles, maybe. I think 2 fumbles now. It's not been what's hoped for.
No.
Like we said.
No, I think now if the Renegades were to march down the field again and score, perhaps they would be able to come away from this game with being able to pat themselves on the back a little bit more. But I think the damage is done for both camps. They've learned a lot.
I think what the problem with NTU today has been. Don't get me wrong, they've played well, they've executed correctly, and they've 20-0. I fear there's almost an element though of having sunk to the level of what they've played.
Yes.
As opposed to DMU and teams like that where they've been winning and they've been blowing out and scoring big scorelines, where they've just taken advantage of the fact the opponent wasn't as good at them. In this game, it seems that they came in with intensity, they were expecting a hard game, and there's almost an element of disappointment in their play because they're not getting it. They've just lowered their standards a bit and aren't executing as well as they can.
Yeah.
I mean, we're picking at straws there for NTU. They have played very well. The defense, especially, has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just the offense you feel could have put more on the scoreboard here, made a truly embarrassing scoreline.
It's about this time of year in the season, with what is now going to be a 5-0 record, where you do start looking towards the playoffs, and
yes,
you'll be facing harder opponents, and the Renegades will want to go as far as they can in the playoffs, maybe even win back the plate.
That's a great gang tackling there from UoN D-line, taking Abraham Tyro down back near the first down marker. Back near the first down marker. And that's a 3rd down and about 8. Oh, no, there's been a penalty thrown on the play, so it's still 2nd down and about 4. We'll wait to see what the referee has to say here.
Just a little bit of afters, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been, because the tackle itself was fine, the play was broken correctly, but it would seem something may have been, some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct, perhaps. Here we go.
The referee now coming over just to speak to Adrian Giles, the Renegades head coach, just to confirm what is about to be said.
After the play was over, personal foul. 85 offence, 15 yards. Is it 2nd or 3rd? 2nd. 3rd down. Yeah.
So
that's James Peacock, seemingly, who's been taken off after that. The coaches are not happy with him.
He's still out here, just with Marcus Patches Boswell, number 84.
Yes, but 85, who committed the penalty, has been taken off. 85, sorry. James Peacock. He's been replaced by, I think it's Michael Jones, who's gone on instead. That's unfortunate because James Peacock's been training very well. He's not normally been, he's not had many snaps this year. He's worked hard for every single one he's had, and it's a shame to see him get involved in an incident like that to cost the team.
But 3rd and a taxi ride now.
Yeah.
To the first down.
3rd and 20, perhaps.
Well, I'll say 3rd
perhaps
and 25. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at a pass here, I imagine.
Or it might just be that they play it safe, play it conservative, let Abraham take the ball at the middle, try and give him some more reps, get him involved in some more contact,
and get them in a good place for that punt.
No,
they are looking for the pass. Oh, very poor protection for Abraham Tyro, but he's looking deep to Kieran Gonsalves, who cannot haul in the catch. He'll be very disappointed with himself. Yeah, not happy with that.
That's unfortunate because
and the punting must go on now.
He would have been clear.
Yeah.
You'd have had a clean run into the end zone there, and it's a shame.
Alex Curry goes on to try and console him. He is clearly very disappointed with himself. The players are shouting at him, next play, so they're expecting him to pull that back. He isn't one to let his confidence get affected. He's a very confident individual for good reason. He's a very successful individual on the football field. So he'll be looking to rectify that as soon as he can. But this is now a difficult punt for NTU because Rocket has to stand in his own end zone to make this kick, which is never ideal. So we'll have to see how he does with that.
And an absolute comedy of errors there. And the Renegades are going to be pinged for an illegal substitution. I'm trying really hard to keep a straight face.
What happened there? I'm sorry, I was looking at the Twitter and I think I missed it.
Cannonball was supposed to be on for the punt formation and unfortunately wasn't, so Patches ran on to take his place. Cannonball didn't realise, has run on the pitch as the ball has been snapped, so it's going to be called for an illegal substitution or illegal formation, and as he was running out, managed to trip over.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, even the NTU players are taking it quite light-heartedly.
Yeah.
There's discussion of £250 for you've been framed after that play. But there did seem to be a contact on Liam Rocket Reynolds after the kick, and he was down for a while, so that could enter the referee's frame of mind, but that did not go as planned, clearly.
No, that's the sort of play that is going to be spoken about among the players for a very long time, and it's going to make everyone laugh.
Scott Messam is correctly trying to bring the players back into game day mentality. That they've got a little bit too light-hearted. They're not taking the game as seriously as they could, and the point is to close this out. This is still a varsity fixture. Obviously, you don't want embarrassment in uni football, but NTU want to put their mark. They want to make UoN remember that they've played them today, and that doesn't come with slackening off. They need to keep that play hard mentality going. 28's entering the field. Patches is coming off. 28. That's Matt Stainton, better known perhaps internationally as Hickey. Again, we're talking about game day mentality, meaning we probably shouldn't go onto a sidebar like this, but Hickey managed to get into about, I think it was 19 different countries with his escapades on a Wednesday social. We won't go into any more detail than that, but chances are you've probably heard about it. So
heard about it, watched it, read about it.
Yeah, in any number of tabloids, whether you're from Vietnam or America, it reached both countries. Literally A to V. It's quite impressive. All right, there's been quite a long delay here. I think that's Matt Stainton's first entry into play, which he'll be disappointed by because he's trained well. He's been competing hard with Daniele Chiazza for that right end spot, but Daniele's made it his own. He's completed very well.
The long and short of it is, it will be a punt. Not a great snap. Rocket does get it away.
He does do well with the punt. It's been called fair catch. The defence enter the field, but the ball is still in NTU territory, so it's going to take a good, strong defensive effort here, which we've been getting all day, to keep this shutout. I think NTU will want to make a statement by keeping this as a shutout, keeping this 20-0. Conceded points this year, they've only conceded 12. An interesting fact is that the Renegades defence has actually scored more points than it's conceded.
Wow.
It's scored 18 points, conceded 12. So they won't want to let that slip over the course of this game. They'll be determined to see this out as a shutout. All right, he drops deep, throws to Tom Morris, who's going to make the... Oh, he's dropped it! He didn't look to be under that much pressure, and he lets it fall through his legs, and he'll be really disappointed with that, because again, you talk about execution, you talk about... That's 2 opportunities now on deep plays, where I think it's both times it's been Tom Morris has let the ball go. Deep into NTU territory.
Alex Curry was backtracking, but he seemed to be a little bit off balance as that ball came over the top, and it looked like it should have. It was a catchable pass. It wasn't as though Alex Curry was all over him.
Okay.
Drops back, pass again, out wide, and dropped again.
Patches almost catches that before it lands on the ground. 84 unable to make the catch. Yeah, execution. You can't put it on anything else. The plays have been sensible. They've had open men. It's not like there hasn't been the opportunities to get going, but they've just not executed it properly.
No.
Execution is the key to football, and it's just not happened for them.
But the upshot is it's 3rd down, 10 to go, and I can't imagine that...
it's going to be anything but a pass.
No, I think they've abandoned their run game now.
Oh, another poor snap. Number 5 drops back. Look, he's going... Well, he's not... he's looking deep. No, it's a poor pass. Number 10, again, was in a position to make the reception. I mean, Alex Curry was nearby. He's very good at stopping the pass when it's coming into his man's hands. Yeah. But you've got to give the receiver an opportunity to make the catch. The quarterback has to give the receiver an opportunity.
It's Sam Wright again. He's gone through the basics really well there. All throughout the game, whenever he's been under pressure, he's been able to get out of it. He hasn't been sacked yet today. He hasn't been brought down. He's kept his feet underneath him. He's always had a good passing platform. But I think he is perhaps a little too aware of the pressure that he's under, and he panics when he passes it. Now, this is a 4th down. As a quarterback, you are under pressure. And this is the sort of pressure that you have to get used to. 4th down, 10 to go. He has to complete this pass, otherwise they're coming off the field. He rolls out right. He's under pressure.
And that's Daniele Chiazza if he can bring him down. Daniele Chiazza and Josh Elwar combined for the sack. That's Daniele Chiazza's first sack. He's clearly very happy about it. He actually got one on a 2-point conversion near the beginning of the season, but that's his first open play one, and that is massive for NTU because that's, again, great field position for the offence, who'll be looking to get one more score on the board before the end of the game. Unfortunately, we've not been keeping great track of the time in this game, so I'm not sure how long is left.
I would imagine, even though I haven't seen the referees call it yet, then it must be within the 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could have been what the long delay was earlier on, was the 2-minute warning, but sorry, we can't keep you up to date as much as we'd like on that issue.
So Harris then comes out to take...
They're bringing on Kieran Gonzalez as well. See, there's been no... NTU are big fans of, if they've got a lead, they try and bring in rookies. They try and cycle through. One thing you can't say is that they're taking the foot off the pedal in terms of the quality of players on the field.
Yeah.
Perhaps what those players have been unleashing hasn't been ideal. That's Abraham Taiwo, I believe, brought down early again.
Michael Jones getting blocked out of the play there by number 23 on the Outlaws.
One thing, the run defence for the Outlaws.
Yeah, it's been good.
Got very impressive.
If I was in Scott Messham's shoes now, I wouldn't be looking to run up the score by any stretch of the imagination, but at least I'd be looking to get into the end zone at least once more. I'd start looking at Gonzalez, maybe even Harry Guest, even Patches or Chris Stone, looking to get them into the end zone on a deep pass.
Yeah.
And here Harris then drops back under a little bit of pressure, rolls out, drops not the greatest pass.
That's too high, and that's Harry Guest didn't really stand a chance of getting to that.
Floated it just a little bit too high. It wasn't perfect, but under pressure. 3rd down, 10 to go. The clock stopped. They've got a little bit of time on their hands now with the clock stopped. I've actually enjoyed the rotation at running back today, seeing 3 different running backs, 3 different styles. You know, Adam Adenji, very elusive. Daniel Dobson, a one-cut and straight run.
Yep.
Abraham Taiwo is a power back. It's nice to have that sort of variation in the backfield. Harris then drops back, looking over towards his left, spots a man open, and it goes through the hands
of Kieran Gonzalez. He's holding his knee. Oh, he's up. He's okay, thankfully. That's last year. The NTU running back position was held by the incredibly impressive Adam Hope, one of the best American football players this side of the pond for British University American football. He really dominated the position last year as a player of that quality should and would. This year it's been a running back by committee. We've had Adam Adeniji with his outstanding big plays, his real impossibility to bring down. You've got Daniel Dobson, a real 3rd down back with power, strength, very difficult to bring down. And finally you've also had Abraham Taiwo come in this year, a bag of tricks. He doesn't let a play die, like you say, a power back. And you've also got, who we haven't seen today, Michael Fisher. He's a very agile running back, cuts through holes, sees his holes well, great vision. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much of him today, but every running back has different skills, and it's very difficult to plan for them.
Yeah.
Because you see a running back come in, you don't know what you're needing to defend against, what you're expecting. It's been exploited very well by NTU, but all credit given, it's been defended very well by UoN.
Yes. No, Mickey Fisher is he's slight of stature.
He's a smaller running back, yeah.
And he's someone that I think perhaps should really have looked at more the defensive back position than at running back.
Almost picked off there off the bounce. I hope Chris Stone is solely down because of his exasperated. No, he's all right. Good. Michael Fisher's actually had a few attempts at playing slot receiver. He's got great hands. He's very good at route running, but he hasn't been used in that role today, or at running back. Unfortunately, he'll be very disappointed with that.
As I understand it, Mickey's in his is he in his 3rd year?
No, 2nd year with me.
Oh, okay.
2nd year alongside myself, and a lot of the NTU offense actually is 2nd year. All right.
There's a good there we have it is an example of a good pass, a good route, a good catch.
Yeah.
That pass from where we're standing, just behind the camera here, came straight towards me, and it was straight as a die.
Spiral, perfect.
Perfect spiral. So that's not. So the things that have plagued the Outlaws in this game so far, it's not the things that they can't do. It's the things that they can do that they don't do on a consistent basis. Sam Wright does have a good arm, does have a good pass. He is accurate. His wide receivers can run routes. They can catch. It's just they haven't done it enough.
Okay. Well, he's looking now, Sam Wright. Oh, he's jumped off to number 49.
It's a well-executed screen pass.
Ooh,
That's a good
big hit.
That's a good gang tackle between Baby Bash and what looks like Liam Rocket Reynolds.
Yeah, it must be number 50, Mr. Liam Reynolds, indeed.
But as this game draws to a close, what do you think? Let's start with the Renegades. What can the Renegades take positively? I mean,
we've discussed this a bit, but no, the Renegades positively, you can't look beyond the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, the score says it all. It's a shutout. The amount of turnovers, the amount of fumbles, the amount of interceptions, bar maybe 1 or 2 gains of like double-digit yardage. Oh, hang on, I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to curse this. He's being pushed to the outside. Oh, he's not been taken all the way. Oh no, he's cut in.
There is a chance here.
There's been a flag thrown. That could
Rocket
be for a block.
chasing down the quarterback.
Rocket's going to make the tackle. All
right,
we'll wait and see what the flag is. But I really shouldn't have talked about how good the NTU defense has been. I'm going to put a hold on talking about that.
Okay, it looks like there is a flag, and it might be called for a block in the back. Again, something that has plagued the Outlaws. Good yardage, good play.
Otherwise, they're within the 10. They're well in the red zone within 10 yards.
Number 10, White.
That's Will Stanton, the American scholar that they're calling it against. Still a first down. I'm yet to hear what the penalty's for. I've yet to see what the penalty's for, but they're doing a first down. I think what happened is it was a block downfield by by Will Stanton, excuse me, and so the play has to stop at the point where the QB was at that point, which was about 20 yards further back. So that will be devastating.
That's a real shame. Good blocking down the field, apart from the one that was illegal.
Yeah.
But it's lucky that we have an outside linebacker such as Rocket with the sort of pace that he has to chase down the quarterback from behind and bring him down.
I mean, it needed to be done there because that would have been a touchdown. Well, it wouldn't have been purely because of the penalty, but that sort of thing you need to prepare for.
Another draw play now, and the Renegades aren't respecting that.
I imagine his knees were down, but that was a combination of Scott Benjamin and Matt Priest making the tackle. But no, again, you're not getting what you'd expect against draw plays. You expect a better tackle than that, and it's lacking once again.
You do notice around the field people getting hit. I saw Chris Stone was cut blocked legally from the front in that previous play. Again, a worry. You never want to see Chris get hit in the knees. But it's a golden opportunity to hit the quarterback. He's not sliding. He's running into you, and they're just letting him. You've got to stop as a defensive player. You want to stop the quarterback running. If you get the chance to hit him, you want to hit him. You don't want to let him hit you.
Okay, so we're well within 5 minutes towards the end of the game now. That pass was thrown away, really. Yeah, we're well within 5 minutes towards the end of the game. Barring some miraculous comeback, we're not expecting to see much more. I think the target now for NTU is a shutout. Keep them to 0.
But we were talking about
positives and negatives. Yeah, I'm going to start with the negatives because my curse of the commentator really hit with that 30-yard play. The negatives for NTU. It's hard to call any. I mean, 20-0 is a good scoreline. It's an impressive scoreline against a UoN defense that's not been like a pushover in any way, shape or form. The performance of Kieran Gonzalez has been positive, bar one drop catch. Very good work there from Chris Stone to stop 13 from getting anywhere near that catch. The only negative would possibly be that they've not been as ruthless as you'd hope from the varsity fixture. You want to see from an NTU angle a sort of foot on the throat approach. You've got them down, keep them down, really pile on the points. We've not seen that. That's perhaps the one main critique you can make of NTU.
If you look at the games previously played in this season already, you up by similar scorelines as we were today. The second half come out firing, and we're looking at 30, 40, 50-point deficits.
Yeah.
And today, I completely agree. Daniel Chiazza.
Oh, almost gets it.
Oh, no! Matt Priest can't bring it in.
Can't get his second pick of the day. That was great work by Daniele Chiazza, really forcing that throw into a poor position for UoN. And Matt Priest was just unable to hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
He'll be very, very upset. He is an outstanding player.
Yep.
He's been very good for UoN, for NTU. Excuse me. How many years this is his last year, I believe, but he's been a Renegade for 3 years now.
Yes, he has.
I mean, production in every game. You know what you're getting with Matt Priest. Getting hard hitting. Every train session, he's there. He's influential within the team. He's vocal on the pitch.
Yeah.
He's calling what the offense are doing. He's a man to listen to and a leader.
Yep.
Interesting to see Adam Adeniji go back into the backfield. They've taken Abraham Taiwo out and they're going for their star running back in the committee. The ball is snapped. It's not handed off. It's a wide receiver screen to Kieran Gonzalez.
Not a great pass, but
credit to Gonzalez.
Gonz makes the most of it and actually makes 8 yards on the play.
That was a wide receiver screen executed very well by Kieran Gonzalez. He managed to get away from 2 tacklers very early on and kept himself going.
So keeping on the trend of positive and negatives, positives for the Uni of.
Positives for Uni of their run defense.
Yep.
You've got to give credit to their run defense. They shut down Abraham Taiwo very well. You can maybe count 3 plays that have really broken big on the run game for NTU, which has been a stalwart of their offense. Like, people thought it was going to be a running game for NTU this year because of the lack of Danny Miller, but in this game it's been passed. It's had to be.
Yeah.
Chris Stone making good yardage there. I think NTU are hurrying on because there's not long left in the game. There's been a timeout taken.
I would also say, we mentioned it before, and it has been evident in this game, they do have good players. They are a good team. What the coach was saying at the beginning of the match, which we've already mentioned before.
2 minutes, by the way. 2 minutes left of the game.
2 minutes left of the game. This was the first real chance for Uni off to stick it. I completely agree. I completely agree. This is a real chance for them to have a great season and certainly bring a lot to the table. They've got some good opportunities.
Finds Chris Stone again. He's been and Chris Stone makes another first down. It's been a constant of the offense. But sorry, carry on.
But their positive is also, complemented by their negative. It's exactly the same thing. They've got these weapons, they've got opportunities, and they've got these abilities. They're just not using them.
No, they're not exploiting it. Right, Harrison. He's trying to run, but he can't really get anywhere. He
does pick up perhaps 2 or 3 yards.
One thing I feel we really need to mention, it's been completely ignored this game, is the O-line.
Yes.
Have we really had to comment on Harrison taking a lot of pressure? I wouldn't say it's the O-line's fault that the run plays haven't been working. The pass protection on O-line has been exemplary.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of new starters in this year.
First timeout.
There's another timeout taken. So we're within the 2 minutes now, that's a timeout taken. But yeah, on O-line we've got, we mentioned Big Stu McFadden, number 79. We've got Tom Crumpton, who's a GB trialist. He's playing centre. And Rugby, number 71, a stalwart of the offensive line for the Renegades for years now. But the guards are rookies this year. You've got Mayoa Adeniran, playing number 77. He's normally playing at left guard. I'm not exactly sure of his position today. And Denham Scaluppi, playing the other guard position. Both of them have had great games as well. The pressure of the situation, the pressure of the event, it being a pre-varsity, an unofficial varsity game, hasn't gotten to them in the slightest. It's level heads on rookies.
As I said earlier on, I had the chance to sit down with Rugby. I had a chance to sit down with Rugby yesterday over a nice tumbler of Glenmorangie, which was
very classy.
Always a nice way to talk to Rugby. It always is.
Yeah.
And he's saying the thing with O-line at the moment is they're lacking their depth. They've had some great players, physical players, that perhaps haven't stepped up to the
plate.
Mentally more than anything. They're big enough, they're strong enough.
Harrison going for the run right down the middle. It's a good run.
It is a good run. But what Rugby was saying is that you've got these three guys that were you've aforementioned, and the 2 rookies. Depth-wise, perhaps they don't have many players.
There's not much beyond that.
There's not much behind them, but at the same time, they are still performing. And just like they are now, they are performing very well. There's a pressure on Harris from the outside, and I don't know if that will go down as a sack or whether he gained a couple of yards there.
Wait and see the marker if it gets moved or not.
I would quite like them to keep on this run game so the clock winds down and I can get inside where it's warm.
Yeah.
It's
And perhaps where there might be an alcoholic beverage or two.
It is very, very cold here at the Field of Dreams, and that's a shame that that play was called back because that would have been a touchdown for Patches. But
It's number 5. Number 24.
Called a full start.
84. That's near enough. I will do, yeah. 5 yards.
Okay, we have the referees filling in their own version there. Kieran Gonzalez, I believe, was finally called with the penalty there, number 84. I'm not sure what the penalty was for. It was 5 yards, so probably some sort of offensive holding.
I think it was a full start.
False start, sorry, yes, false start. So that'll bring them to 2nd down and 15. Harrison in the shotgun, Adam Adeniji in the backfield. All right, ball's taken to Harrison. He's looking for the pass. He finds Chris Stone, who cuts inside 2 men and gets the touchdown. He's a little jump and bump there with Rugby. Give him credit so everyone knows who he is. Lorcan Boyd, Rugby, number 71. But there we go. That is. Well, that makes it 26-0 as it stands. They'll go for their. Well, they've gone for 2-point conversions twice today. One successful, one not. We'll wait and see what they go for. But yeah, as it stands.
I think this last quarter of football, it's given the opportunity for the Renegades to walk away from this game with their heads held a lot higher than it would have been previously.
Yeah.
It looks like they are going to go for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, another 2-point attempt.
There are some things that they obviously need to work on, but it's not going to be come out of this game thinking...
almost intercepted, but that leaves it at 26 now.
They won't come out of this game thinking we won that, but we won it only just.
Yeah,
I think the Renegades, since the first score, they've never properly looked like conceding points.
Yeah.
So it's a positive to take from it. The Renegades, they've always been a strong team, but they've struggled a little bit with consistency and slow starts. There have been games in the past where they don't start until the second half. This game, I feel that both sides of the ball started from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing you've got to give the defence this year is there's been no delay. Like every time they come on ready. The defence this year has not been a slow starter as we've seen in previous years. And as you mentioned, the offence sometimes it's taken a while to get on the boil, but the defence has come out intense every game. And I think we've talked about it before. That's Carl Walkinshaw's mentality. He wants people firing from the get-go. It's 4 quarters of football. The 12 points the NTU have conceded have actually both come in the 4th quarter late.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue to Carl Walkinshaw because his demands of his team is 60 minutes you play football and you play hard football. Will Stanton with the return.
Another deep kick by Gonzalez.
Baby Bash isn't able to make the tackle.
To the outside.
They tackle each other. That's 2 pink on pink there.
And that looks like that may have hurt a little.
I believe that was I'm sorry, I'm not sure who went down on the play. Someone really took a big hit there, though. 33.
Number 33.
That's Luke Thompson. Also known, you'd enjoy this, as Smaloo. Small Blue. They look remarkably similar. But yeah, he took a big hit there from one of his own players. But Will Stanton with a good return there, maybe about 20 yards there again.
Yeah,
that's good work from.
It's special
Will
teams.
Stanton.
It is special teams.
Once again,
it is probably the only consistently weak point of the Renegades.
But yeah, so defense onto the field. They've got very deep safeties now. You've got Patches and I think it's Rocket Reynolds, very deep now. They're waiting for the big pass to go. Oh, handed off to Will Stanton in the back. Oh, he slips. He finds number 5 though. It's going deep. Tom Morris not able to make the catch, but there's I think there was a late. I think number 10 sliding put his knee down and took him out the play, and that's a loss of about what is it? Is that 10 yards? No, maybe about 7.
What would that that would be that wouldn't go down as a sack.
Well, no, because it's like taking a knee, I guess, just not on purpose.
I think it just goes down as a whoops, doesn't it?
Yeah, big whoops. It goes down as a let's not talk about it. I think that's what they'd like to refer to it as. But
no, it's nice to see. I mean, I'm sure the Outlaws are probably well aware and have been for a while that they're not going to come back from this game now. Nice to see a trick play there.
Yeah, they're still trying something. There's still game planning going on. But that didn't work out as they ambitioned.
No. Sam Wright looking for the pass. Throws back across the field.
Oh, Tom Morris makes the catch. That's one of their biggest plays of the day.
And they get their first down.
I guarantee Carl Walkinshaw will actually highlight that as a big mistake.
Yes.
Because that is a completed pass of about 20 yards to what is... I mean, I'm not hugely aware of the secondaries in the top divisions, but I guarantee the secondary can compete with any of them.
Yeah.
You've got Marcus Patches-Boswell, Chris Stone, Liam Rocket Reynolds, Alex Curry, Lewis Glaze. That is... I can't think of a better secondary. I mean, yeah, you've got players like Matt Priest who can step into that joker role. Unfortunately, a lot of them are third years or leaving this year, so it could be an interesting year for the Renegades next year.
Moving around the pocket, he's got plenty of time and can't connect with his man. Now,
I'll let you highlight it because I know you're going to.
It's a good pass, good route. You know, that was unfortunate because there wasn't anything wrong with it. It just wasn't completed.
It was a little too far ahead, but yeah, no, it wasn't quite. Yeah. If you heard a comment there, perhaps made by a former NTU Renegade, we apologise for the language. And the giggle thereafter. Sincere apologies to anyone listening who may have been offended.
It's something about the student mentality. Some people just can't let go.
Or the alcohol, perhaps. Right, ball is snapped. Sam Wright steps back in the pocket, looking deep. All right, a lot of pressure coming in. That's 96 chasing him, and Josh Elwar. He's got nowhere to go. Oh, he's bounced it off. Oh, and a big... Oh, he's going to break. He's not going to get the first down, but that is very, very disappointing. For the D-line there. But I think that might be the game. Big cheers going up from NTU, which is surprising considering the play didn't exactly go as they planned. There is a flag on the play.
I think that is the game. There are people shaking hands and stuff. I don't think that's something that Josh Elwar will particularly like to go and see again.
Offence, that penalty will be declined. The game is over.
There we go. And that is a 26-0 win to the NTU Renegades. A shutout of the Nottingham Outlaws from a defence that has performed outstandingly once again, and an offence that was at times not executing perfectly, but at times really ticking.
I think the Renegades can hold their heads up high. They've walked away from this encounter. That's 6-0 now against the Outlaws. That is something that I think they're all very pleased with and all very happy about. Now, quickly before we sign off.
Yeah. Positives and negatives.
We've done the positives and negatives. MVP.
Yes.
It's hard. It's always hard because there are so many great players on this team. I think Kieran Gonzalez, you've really got to give him a mention. Picking himself up after every time he got knocked down. Running in a TD to start with. Harris Zen, again, taking plenty of time in the pocket. Choosing his options very well. Not getting picked and using his feet. To me, I think as a collective, I have to give it to the O-line.
Well, okay, so you're going O-line. I can appreciate that. Solid unit, good performance from them all. It might be the obvious one because obviously he's got the quality, but influence on both sides of the balls, picks, touchdowns, big tackles. It's got to be Chris Stone. I know it's an obvious one and it's an easy one to do, but I don't know if it was 1 or 2 touchdowns, but it was at least 1 pick, big tackles all the way, breaking up passes. So it's got to be given.
And I've just been informed by Bradley Peck, the alumni man of the match is Cannonball for his stupendous entrance onto the punt unit.
I'm really going to have to see this one again because it sounds extraordinary.
It is.
But there was, it's got to be said, the atmosphere in camp was nervous earlier before this. There was a fear that there was going to be, this was going to be the Renegade team that let it become 5-1. They were scared about that, but no, they've carried on the good Renegade tradition of beating UoN, and a 26-0 win must be one of the biggest winning margins in this game's history.
It must be,
and they'll be very proud of that. So that's 6-0 just before the big 7, the big varsity game.
I think
at the end of the year.
Going into the varsity game, I think the Renegades are going to have that psychological advantage, biggest winning margin against Uni of, and also.
So carry on.
Sorry, Baloo's interrupting us. He's saying we won 28-0. I think he's misinformed. We won at 28-4. So two safeties. That was 28-4. Anyway, back to the point I was about to make.
The psychological edge is absolutely
the psychological edge. Varsity Renegades win 26-0, and they didn't even play their best. I think I think the Outlaws made it a little easier than they should have done for the Renegades to get those points. However, you can't not look forward to the varsity game.
No, it's going to be big. I mean, bigger venue this year as well. There's a possibility of it being played at a nice big stadium. So we're wrapping up now. We'd just quickly like to, we've had the shout outs to people during the game. Just one more time, we'd like to mention who's been broadcasting this for you. M-Run Productions have allowed us to commentate your way through this game. Champions are live streaming All right, you can find them on Twitter at Endrun Productions and on Facebook at facebook.com/Endrun Productions. Thank you guys for having us. This has been Callum Chalmers.
And James Baseline Goodsall. We'll see you at Varsity.
Bye now.
With the same score.
Thank you very much. That was fun. Do you want your card?
No, thank you.